Chapter 412. Lin Xian was stunned. For me? Ling Longshui nodded slightly. Since I've promised, I naturally have to keep my promise. There are 14 pills in each jade bottle. They'll help you recover your injuries and spirit energy. They'll be more effective than before. But that's all because I don't have any more ingredients to refine them. Thank you. Lin Xian didn't stand on ceremony and accepted it. Originally, he thought that if he could get 4 heavenly void pearls from Ling Longshui, it would be enough to protect Linya and the others. However, Ling Longshui still agreed to the previous matter, which was equivalent to her giving the heavenly void pearls to Lin Xian for free. This girl was so kind that it made him think of the sun. There's one thing. Ling Longshui told the truth. She had never asked anyone for help before. Lin Xian seemed to have taken many of her first times. Tell me why. Are you shy? Don't tell me you've fallen for me? Lin Xian grinned. Ling Longshui. She ignored Lin Xian's words and said, although it's not right, if you still have that treasure, I hope you can raise your spatial attribute to large success. Don't worry, I'll definitely take out something of equivalent value to exchange. How much do you think it's worth to raise the heavenly void fox's attribute to large success? Ling Longshui said truthfully, very much. It's unimaginable. At the very least, these pills and the heavenly void pearls can't compare to the increase in my spatial attribute to large success. Then do you have anything you can exchange with me? Ling Longshui nodded. There's a lot, but it's just whether you'll like it or not. Of course, Lin Xian would be interested in her good stuff. To her, the attribute increasing potion was a treasure. However, to Lin Xian it was only worth 5 million. It was worthless. Any random item from Ling Longshui was a treasure to Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian did not want to give it to Ling Longyue. Let's talk about it later. Your younger sister is very prejudiced against me now. I'll consider it again when she becomes obedient. Ling Longshui didn't insist. She nodded and didn't say anything. Then she turned around and returned to the living room. Sister. When Ling Longshui saw Ling Longshui enter, she quickly went over to her. She sometimes called Ling Longshui sister, and sometimes Ling Longshui. Perhaps it was mainly based on her mood at the time. What is it? Ling Longshui looked at Ling Longyue. She really wanted her younger sister's space attribute to reach the large success stage. That way, if she wasn't by her side one day, or if she met with danger outside, her strength would increase by a bit. That lecher was peeping at you just now, Ling Longyue said angrily. Ling Longshui didn't have much of a reaction. She only nodded slightly. Peeping, wasn't it normal? This wasn't the first time she noticed Lin Xian peeping at her. It was also normal. After all, he was a man. At first, Ling Longshui was very disgusted. She wanted to kill Lin Xian. However, she couldn't do anything to him. She had said it many times. But Lin Xian always said that she couldn't even look at him. She couldn't refute. Later on, she gradually got used to Lin Xian looking at her. Ling Longyue was stunned. Her sister had such a reaction? No. It was because she didn't explain it clearly. Bing Lingyue secretly shook her head. She didn't care about their matters. She just needed to sit there and drink her tea. Lin Xian didn't dare to come in. He knew that with Ling Longyue's temper, she would definitely tell Ling Longshui. Therefore, he didn't dare to come in. When you were sitting cross-legged in the air, he was peeping at you from below. Ling Longyue emphasized again. However, Ling Longshui didn't realize anything. You were wearing a skirt. Ling Longyue's voice became louder. At this moment, Ling Longshui suddenly realized something. She was wearing a skirt. Lin Xian heard it very clearly. He couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. It's over. Well, I have something to do. I'll go back first. Bye-bye. With that, Lin Xian leaped down from the balcony on the second floor. Then he dashed into the distance and disappeared in a short while. Ding! Felt Ling Longshui's embarrassment and anger. Scumbag value plus 100,000. It didn't mean that Lin Xian could do whatever he wanted just because he helped Ling Longshui. Of course not. Ling Longshui's little face was flushed red from embarrassment and anger. Sister, do you want me to catch him and whip him? Ling Longyue could already imagine the scene of her whipping Lin Xian. She was looking forward to it. No need. Ling Longshui recovered and said calmly. The teapot flew up, and so did the teacup. The teapot automatically filled the teacup in the air. When the teacup landed in Ling Longshue's hand, she took a sip. With power, one could do whatever they wanted. They didn't even need to do it themselves. Ah! Hearing her sister's words, Ling Longyue thought that she had heard wrongly. She's not going to pursue the matter? Is this still my sister? Once, when the two of them were roaming around Monster Wind City, a few monster kings had coveted their beauty. After a few flirtations, Ling Longshue had crushed them into nothingness on the streets. Lin Xian had peeked at her naked body, and she's not going to pursue the matter? Could it be that what my sister Bing had said was true? That the two of them could very well become partners? That must be fake, right? Who does he think he is? How could he be worthy of my elder sister? And how could my elder sister take a liking to such a lecher? However, if their relationship wasn't that good, why would my sister not do anything to him even though she was being teased? Wah! I don't want this bastard to be my brother-in-law. I don't want to be his sister-in-law. Ling Longshue didn't know what Ling Longshue was thinking in such a short period of time. Ling Longshue explained, "It's my mistake. I forgot about this. It should be on the ground." Perhaps he just happened to glance at it. Ling Longshue's face was slightly hot as she explained, "What do you mean by just happened to glance?" His eyes were almost slanted to his temples. Ling Longshue, "We'll talk about it in the future. Besides, he can't see anything." Ling Longyue, "What do you mean he can't see anything? Who are you? You're not Ling Longshue. Get out of her body." Ling Longshue liked Ling Longshue because of the acacia flower. But now this liking was slowly fading away. It was more of a sisterly love. Ever since she saw the musical that Lin Xian and Ling Ying acted out, she felt even more awkward. She didn't know why, but Ling Longshue didn't tell her. Because Lin Xian told her not to tell, she didn't do anything. Even now, when she saw Ling Longshue being taken advantage of, she was only interested. She was just a little disappointed. Perhaps she didn't realize that this disappointment was directed at Lin Xian. Chapter 413. Lin Xian returned home in a panic and saw a guest the moment he opened the door. "Why are you here?" Lin Xian looked at Han Chushue in surprise. The three of them had their own unique features, but they were all extremely beautiful. They were sitting together and eating dinner. "I'm here to look for Ling Ying." "I think you're here to freeload." Actually, she didn't have much to do. It was just that she hadn't contacted Lin Xian for a few days. So she wanted to come over and spend some time with Lin Xian's sister. Han Chushue and Lin Yu weren't familiar with each other, so she didn't know what she was thinking. They all knew that Lin Yu was Lin Xian's sister. Girls who liked Lin Xian obviously wanted to leave a good impression on Lin Yu and build a good relationship with Lin Yu. This was very normal. The key was that Lin Xian hadn't contacted Han Chushue for the past few days. He didn't even chat with her on WeChat. Han Chushue was inexplicably flustered. She found out from Ling Ying that Lin Xian and her sister Lin Yu were living in her house. She was inexplicably flustered and wanted to come over. Lin Yu pulled out a chair for Lin Xian and said softly, "Little Xian, be more polite." Ahahaha. Lin Xian scratched his head and smiled awkwardly. He then said, "It's an honor to have a beauty like Miss Han here." Lin Yu rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. She didn't know why this brat was so straightforward. Why were there so many outstanding girls surrounding him now? Lin Yu really didn't understand. In the past, she was scared to death that Lin Xian couldn't find a girlfriend. Even if he did find one, it might not be true love. Now she was scared to death. How many girls was Lin Xian looking for? No, which one should she look for? "I'm looking for Ling Ying to go out and train. Do you want to go?" Han Chushue asked. Lin Xian shook his head. "I won't be going. I still have something to do." Their meal was considered a midnight snack, and it was very simple. Han Chushue bought some food on the way here. Han Chushue was a little disappointed, but then she nodded slightly. "It's almost midnight. Do you still have something to do?" Ling Ying asked another question. Perhaps this fellow was going out to fool around with other young ladies. "No, it's early in the morning tomorrow. I don't know when I'll be able to come back so early in the morning, so I'll just forget about it. Furthermore, with my current cultivation level, I should be able to handle the Tianwu assembly for the time being." Even if you can't get first place, you can still get into the top 10, Lin Xian said after taking a sip of milk tea. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Linya was relieved. Every time Lin Xian went out, she would be worried. However, she knew that for a martial artist, going to the demonic beast domain was a must. Getting first place wasn't that important to Lin Xian. Xiao Runing's mission hadn't been triggered yet. In fact, Lin Xian didn't want to take her down from the bottom of his heart. At the very least, he should trigger the confession mission before taking her down for real, right? As long as he was in the top 10, he would be able to advance. The top 10 would be able to participate in the competition between the top 10 in each city in China. After that, the top 10 would be decided. Then, the 5 empires would decide on a total of 50 people. Out of these 50 people, 10 of them would enter the God's Awakening door. These 10 people were the strongest 10 people selected from the 5 empires. It could be said that these 10 people were definitely the strongest in the younger generation. No matter what family or power you were from, no matter how strong you were, you would still want to enter the God's Awakening door. As for whether or not he could take down Xiao Runing, this was a serious problem. Lin Xian really liked this big sister. He definitely couldn't bear to give her up. Lin Xian was suddenly stunned by this thought that popped up in his head. F***ck. What was he thinking? He actually wanted to take the initiative to pick up other big sisters? Wasn't this what a scumbag would think? God. Forget it. One more wouldn't be too much. After all, there were already 4. Ling Ying, Lu Yufan, Wang Xintong, and Miao Xiao Miao. Lin Xian gave up. F***ck. So be it if he was a scumbag. As long as he could carry this bowl of water evenly, it was fine. Lin Xian counted the girls who were related to him. Maybe they would become one of his girlfriends in the future. There were already 4. Then there was Han Chuxue, Ling Longshui, Ling Longyue, Bing Lingyue, Yi Yi, Xiao Runing, and Linya. 11. Did he have 8 kidneys? No way. No way. Hey. Ling Ying waved his hand in front of Lin Xian. TSK, what are you thinking about again? Ling Ying helplessly withdrew his hand. She didn't know when it started, but Lin Xian loved to daydream. She was used to it. Lin Xian then came back to his senses. What's the matter? Nothing. I'm leaving with Chuxue. Are you sure you don't want to come? Lin Xian shook his head. No, you guys be careful. Okay, Linya's sister, we're leaving first. Be careful. Then Ling Ying and Han Chuxue left together. Xiao Xian, Chuxue is not bad. After they left, Linya said so. Lin Xian. Wow. This little fairy. She said that every beautiful girl was not bad. There are many good girls, but none of them are mine. Lin Xian shrugged and said, how can that be? I feel that they all care about you. Really? Lin Xian raised his eyebrows. Linya nodded seriously. You have to trust a girl's intuition. As a girl, I know girls better than you. I advise you to find a girlfriend as soon as possible. Otherwise, it's not good for the other girls to wait. Then wouldn't it be worse for them if I confirmed a girlfriend? Lin Xian said with a smile. Linya. Then what do you want? To have 3 wives and 4 concubines in ancient times? Lin Xian rubbed his chin. It's not impossible. Linya helped Lin Xian peel an apple and said, if you have the ability to make girls not jealous of each other, and make them willing, then I don't care. But you can't have a girlfriend and fool around behind her back. That's not okay. Do you hear me? I know. Lin Xian smiled, and took out the heavenly void orb. Linya handed the apple to Lin Xian, and took the heavenly void orb. What is this? The heavenly void orb. It's a type of spiritual tool. If little fairy encounters danger outside, just crush it, and it will send you to a safe place in an instant. Linya didn't care too much about this. She was more concerned about why there would be danger. Last time, Lin Xian gave her a spirit pearl of frozen snow. Not long after, she encountered danger. This time, Lin Xian gave her the heavenly void orb to save her life. So she knew that Lin Xian must have caused some trouble outside. Little Xian, try not to cause any trouble outside. If something happens to you, I don't know what to do. Linya said gently. I know. Lin Xian nodded. He didn't want to cause trouble because Linya and the others were in danger. But trouble always came to him. Lin Xian really couldn't do anything. Chapter 414. Linya kept the heavenly void orb. She looked at Lin Xian and said, "If you can't get something, don't force it. Safety is the most important thing. Anyway, you can't do anything bad outside." Lin Xian smiled and nodded. "I know. I definitely won't do anything bad." "Okay." Linya nodded slightly and said, "It's getting late. Let's wash up and go to bed." Lin Xian revealed a mischievous smile. Then he pulled Linya's hand and said, "Lingying won't be home tonight, so we—" "No." Linya said as usual. Then she quickly ran away. "No. You have to do it even if you can't." Lin Xian grinned and ran into Linya's room. The next morning, Lin Xian walked out of Linya's room and said no. Didn't she give in last night? However, Lin Xian still did not push Linya down. If he wanted to, he could really push her down at any time. But he couldn't bear to do it. Really, the more you like someone, the more you want to push them down. Instead, you want to protect them gently. You can't even bear to see the sun. After making breakfast for Linya, Lin Xian left. The first thing he did was to go to the Sky Marshal Court. Lu Yufan and Yi Yi were there. "Huh. Why did you give us this thing?" Lu Yufan played with the heavenly void orb in his hand. "To save our lives," Lin Xian said. "To save our lives? Yi and I don't go out. Even if we go to the demonic beast domain, we have experts from our family. There's no need. You should use it yourself. Usually, you go to the demonic beast domain. Moreover, you don't have an expert to guide you. You're in more danger than us." Lu Yufan then handed the heavenly void orb over. And so did Yi Yi. However, Yi Yi and Lu Yufan were very happy because Lin Xian was thinking about them. This proved that they were very important to Lin Xian. As Lin Xian's girlfriend, Lu Yufan was a little jealous when she saw that Lin Xian had also married Yi Yi. But it didn't matter. Yi Yi was her best friend, and she also needed to be safe. It's not the same. It's safer to keep it for emergencies. Danger doesn't necessarily exist only among demonic beasts. Lin Xian did not take it back. Lin Xian would only feel more at ease if they had the means to protect their lives. Yi Yi's beautiful eyes glanced at Lin Xian, and then asked softly, "Are you saying that someone will harm me and Fan Fan?" Her gentleness and Linya's gentleness were two different kinds. She was a young lady from a noble family, a beautiful young girl. "Yi is still smarter. Give me a kiss." Lin Xian's face moved closer, causing Yi Yi's face to blush slightly, and then she took a step back. Ding! Felt Lu Yufan's displeasure. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Of course he was displeased. It's fine if you're flirting with other girls outside, but you're asking for a kiss in front of me, your girlfriend. Damn. What do you mean? You mean I'm not smart? Lu Yufan put her hands on her waist and said angrily. Yes. Lu Yufan. Ah. Lin Xian. Then she went crazy. Lin Xian laughed. He felt that making girls go crazy was a very enjoyable thing. Lu Yufan was one, and Miao Xiao Miao was another. Lin Xian loved to make these two girls go crazy. Being unable to do anything was the best. Alright. I'm just joking. Lin Xian patted Lu Yufan's little head, and then Lu Yufan instantly quieted down. She was so quiet that Lin Xian was stunned. Damn, this girl became quiet? Lu Yufan's little face was completely red. It was just that Lin Xian patting her head was too flirtatious. Lin Xian had never patted her head like this before. And there were so many people around. She was completely embarrassed. A little girl's shyness was really unintentional. After all, she was only 17 years old. Moreover, she grew up in a pampered environment. She was actually very innocent. Her world was very beautiful. And her yearning for love was also very beautiful. Every time she watched those idol dramas, the male lead would pin the female lead against the wall or pat her head. God, she couldn't stand it. Hey, why are you blushing? Lin Xian looked at Lu Yufan's lowered head. Her little face was completely red, and then he revealed a surprised expression. No. Lu Yufan shook her little head. Then raise your head for me to see. Go to hell. Lu Yufan stepped on Lin Xian's foot and ran away. Damn. Why do you girls like to step on feet? I don't even know how many pairs of my shoes are ruined. Lin Xian said bitterly. Yi Yi said charmingly. Because I don't know what else to do. Lin Xian was stunned for a moment. What did that mean? Then he seemed to understand. For people who weren't on good terms, flirting with girls would result in a backhand slap. But for people who were on good terms, girls couldn't slap boys, right? Little fists hitting the chest? That was possible, but it would appear very ambiguous in front of others. Therefore, stepping on the feet was the most common action. I'm going to look for Fan Fan. Is there anything else? Yi Yi actually didn't want to be separated from Lin Xian. After all, she quite liked him. However, she didn't know what to do with Lin Xian. It was very awkward, so she could only run away. There's nothing else. Remember, you have to carry the Heavenly Void Pearl with you like a spiritual weapon. Remind Fan Fan as well. Yi Yi nodded her little head. Okay, I'll tell Fan Fan. Go do your work. You guys work hard to improve yourselves. Got it. Then Yi Yi ran away. Lin Xian went to look for Xiao Runing, but she wasn't there. He wanted to pinch her butt. Lin Xian had pinched Xiao Runing's butt many times. After that, Lin Xian took a taxi to the Bounty Hunter Guild. It was still early. It was only 9 o'clock, but the Gale Mercenaries Cafe was already open. Sister Qianqian, Lin Xian called out. The cafe was empty except for Wang Qianqian. You're here. Wang Qianqian poured Lin Xian a cup of coffee out of habit. Where's little Meow Meow? Wang Qianqian said. She's probably sleeping in the room over there. She should be awake soon. She slept a little late last night. She slept here? Lin Xian suddenly had a bad idea. Wang Qianqian nodded. Yeah, she rarely comes home. Sometimes, she just sleeps here when it's late. Anyway, there's a room here. Lin Xian nodded and took out the Heavenly Void Pearl. Originally, he wanted to give the Heavenly Void Orb to Wang Xintong. However, after thinking about it, he realized that his relationship with Wang Xintong was actually quite secretive. It was very rare for the two of them to appear in public together. Therefore, compared to the others, she should be safer. Furthermore, Lin Xian had chatted with her last night. She had already reached the profound heaven realm. The Heavenly Void Pearl was given to Wang Qianqian mainly for her safety. After all, Qin Xiaotian was very strong. However, if she didn't need it, then Lin Xian would definitely take it back. Chapter 415. Wang Qianqian took the Heavenly Void Orb in astonishment, just like the other girls. What's this? Lin Xian said. Heavenly Void Orb, a spatial spirit artifact. It can teleport you to a certain location in an instant, used in times of danger. Wang Qianqian smiled, then threw the Heavenly Void Orb to Lin Xian. I don't need it, give it to the other girls. You have so many girls around you. Can you take care of them all? Lin Xian scratched his head awkwardly, then said, Sister Qianqian, you're making me feel very awkward. Wang Qianqian smiled. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, this is a man. Lin Xian then handed the Heavenly Void Orb to Wang Qianqian, then said, But there are very few men who are as responsible as me. Keep the Heavenly Void Orb for now, just in case. And Lin Xian then said, Sister Qianqian, what's your cultivation level? Of course he could tell, Mystic Heaven Realm 4 stars. He was just asking. Mystic Heaven Realm 4 stars. Lin Xian then said, Qin Xiaotian was Mystic Heaven Realm 1 star a long time ago. For someone who is very competitive, he doesn't want to be in the top 10 in the Tianwu tournament. He definitely wants to be first. So he will definitely crazily grind in the beast domain, even if his cultivation level is low. I'm afraid it won't be much lower than yours, Sister Qianqian. Wang Qianqian nodded. That makes sense. This Qin Xiaotian is very strong. Although I haven't felt the strength of his ice attribute, since he can become famous in Tianhua City, it makes sense, it's good to be careful. Then she put the Heavenly Void Orb away. But, if this Heavenly Void Orb is useless, you still have to return it to me. Lin Xian said shamelessly. Can't you keep it as my reward for helping you? Wang Qianqian looked at Lin Xian with a smile on her face. Ha ha ha. Lin Xian scratched his head and said with a smile. Okay. Sister Qianqian, you've helped me so much. The reward is certain. I can't let you work for free. Wang Qianqian smiled and said, I'm just joking. Between friends and comrades, there's nothing wrong with helping out a little. Besides, you saved little Meow before. To be honest, the Meow family hasn't repaid this favor yet. Just treat it as me helping to repay a little. They gave me an Earth-tier martial skill. Wang Qianqian smiled faintly and said, an Earth-rank martial technique is nothing compared to saving a life, especially to the Meow family. Actually, Lin Xian wanted to say that the Meow family had given the Meow family's daughter to him. That's right, Meow Xiao Meow was already his. What else could he want? Then why is big sister Qianqian helping the Meow family? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Lin Xian always felt that Wang Qianqian had some special relationship with the Meow family. She was too loyal to the Wind mercenary group. As a profound heaven realm cultivator, she wasn't strong, but she wasn't weak either. She should have a higher realm and a bigger stage, but she naively stayed in this place all day long, quietly grinding coffee. The Meow family has also saved my life. Then, Wang Qianqian thought for a moment and said, how should I put it? Actually, I quite like this kind of life. I don't have much ability, and I don't have many pursuits. It's really good to live a quiet life, and find someone I like to be with. Yes, everyone is different, Lin Xian said. Of course it's different from you. You should have a bigger stage. You also hope to have a bigger stage. When you dazzle everyone, then you can pick up more girls, right? Wang Qianqian said with a smile. Lin Xian, no way. I'm actually very pure. Wang Qianqian smiled and said, more coffee. Okay. Then Lin Xian asked, Sister Qianqian, what's the situation on Qin Xiaotian's side? Wang Qianqian said, I think he'll ask me out tonight or tomorrow night to prepare to make a move. You should also prepare in advance. These days, he's been asking me out frequently and chatting with me on the phone. These 2 days, he did seem a little anxious. According to what you said, he'll definitely make a move before the Tianwu conference. Then it will be today or tomorrow. I'll inform you when the time comes. You should also be prepared. Lin Xian nodded and said, okay. This time, it wasn't for anything else but to get evidence. Perhaps Wang Qianqian alone could handle it without him showing up. That would be the best. Sister Qianqian, if you can handle it, just use the Heavenly Void Orb. Don't be stingy. For this matter, the Heavenly Void Orb wasn't worth mentioning. I know. I'll decide when the time comes. Lin Xian nodded. Then he rolled his eyes. Then can I go take a look at little Meow Meow? Wang Qianqian smiled. Sure, just go in from there. The third room with a lot of anime characters on the door is hers. She should be up by now. Then I'll go. Then, Lin Xian scratched his head and walked over a little embarrassedly. Wang Qianqian looked at Lin Xian ambiguously, then sat at the side and played with her phone. As a bystander, she could see more clearly. She could see that Lin Xian liked Meow Xiao Meow, and Meow Xiao Meow treated Lin Xian very differently. As a girl, she naturally knew that this girl liked Lin Xian too. It was really not easy to make this proud young miss like a boy. If Lin Xian wanted to go to her room, why wouldn't she let him? He couldn't possibly do anything perverted to Meow Xiao Meow after going in, right? That shouldn't be the case. Wang Qianqian felt that although Lin Xian was quite perverted, he should be quite reliable. At the very least, he definitely wouldn't do anything perverted. Moreover, Meow Xiao Meow was still so young. How could he do it? Therefore, Wang Qianqian underestimated Lin Xian. At this moment, Lin Xian walked along the corridor and passed by the small kitchen. Although it was small, it was quite beautiful and clean. After passing by, there was a narrow passage at the back, and Lin Xian saw a few rooms. Lin Xian looked for the door with all kinds of anime stickers and easily found it. Hee. Standing at the door, Lin Xian couldn't help but rub his hands and reveal a perverted smile. I'll give her a surprise early in the morning. Lin Xian raised his hand and was about to knock on the door, but then he thought, why would I knock on the door? Although knocking on the door was a polite thing to do, he felt that he wasn't a polite person. Moreover, it was his little girlfriend inside. So what was the big deal? Lin Xian went in mainly to look at Meow Xiao Meow's sleeping posture. This girl was very proud. So was she like a lady when she slept? Then, Lin Xian slowly pushed open the mysterious door. Chapter 416. What did Lin Xian do to her? Miao Xiaomiao didn't know. She had really fallen asleep. Anyway, when she woke up she saw Lin Xian. As for what he did before she woke up, she really didn't know. Then, Miao Xiaomiao looked at Lin Xian and pointed at Lin Xian. Tell me, did you do anything overboard to me? Lin Xian quickly shook his head. No, I only kissed you a few times. Miao Xiaomiao was speechless. In an instant her face turned red. Wang Qianqian smiled. When she saw Lin Xian's smile, she knew that Lin Xian was lying. But logically speaking, Miao Xiaomiao should be able to tell. Why was she blushing? Blushing meant that she believed him, right? If Miao Xiaomiao didn't have the identity of Lin Xian's girlfriend, she would have kicked Miao Xiaomiao away just like before. She wouldn't have believed Miao Xiaomiao. But now that she was Lin Xian's girlfriend, she might have believed it. Pervert. Miao Xiaomiao gritted her teeth and said. Wang Qianqian was speechless. That wasn't right. She didn't believe him? But Miao Xiaomiao looked like she believed him. But if she did, she wouldn't have scolded him with a red face, right? Was this still Miao Xiaomiao? Wang Qianqian had a very clear view of the situation. Ha ha ha, I'm kidding. I didn't kiss you. I just tickled your feet a few times. Lin Xian laughed. Miao Xiaomiao shuddered. Get lost. You're even more perverted. Miao Xiaomiao blushed and sat aside. She anxiously drank coffee to calm herself down. Well, I'll go back first, Lin Xian said. Miao Xiaomiao quickly turned around and asked instinctively. You're going back? She was disappointed. She had to go back not long after coming here. Humph. Lin Xian laughed. Why? You can't bear to leave me? If you don't want me to leave, just say it. TSK, hurry up and leave. Actually, Lin Xian didn't have much to do. He just wanted to visit Wang Xintong and Wu Linglong Shui and the others. It wasn't a good thing to have too many girls around him. It was tiring. Most importantly, Miao Xiaomiao had already been taken down by Lin Xian. Lin Xian didn't have to worry about her punishment, but he had to worry about Linglong Shui and the others. The punishment for Linglong Shui and Bing Lingyue's mission was reset to 0. Bing Lingyue's mission punishment was to permanently lose her water and ice attributes. Lin Xian did not want to lose any of them. Linya's quest was much better. There were rewards but no punishments. It didn't mean that Lin Xian changed her after playing with her and threw her away. He didn't play with her and didn't take advantage of Miao Xiaomiao, so he didn't feel too guilty about it. Let's go. I'll play with you guys another day. Little Miao Miao, you better prepare for the Sky Martial Assembly. Got it. Right now, the Sky Martial Assembly was indeed the most important thing. Lin Xian then left. After Lin Xian left, Wang Qianqian smiled and brought a cup of coffee to Miao Xiaomiao's side. Have you fallen for Lin Xian? Wang Qianqian asked with a smile. Ah. Miao Xiaomiao froze for a moment, then quickly shook her little head. No. Who would like that stinky hooligan? Miao Xiaomiao said with a red face. She didn't know how to tell others, so she chose not to tell others about her relationship with Lin Xian. This was also good. Although she felt a little wronged, how could Wang Qianqian see through it? No. Wang Qianqian smiled but didn't say anything. Ah. Sister Qianqian, don't talk nonsense. Miao Xiaomiao's face was red. Ha ha, I won't say it, okay? Then her phone rang. Wang Qianqian glanced at it. It was a message from Qin Xiaotian. Ah, Sister Qianqian is chatting with a man. He even asked you out for a meal. Miao Xiaomiao glanced at it and quickly said, Don't talk nonsense if you don't know. Wang Qianqian replied. Miao Xiaomiao's mouth opened slightly. Sister Qianqian, he's your boyfriend? Because Wang Qianqian didn't mention him, Miao Xiaomiao didn't know that he was Qin Xiaotian. Also, she didn't know that Lin Xian had asked Wang Qianqian for help. Only 4 people knew about this. Qin Xiaotian himself, Wang Qianqian, Lin Xian, and Zhang Tian. Lin Xian didn't even tell Lingying about this. Lingying only knew that Lin Xian and Qin Xiaotian might have some sort of conflict, but he didn't know the reason behind it. No, I'm just doing him a favor. Wang Qianqian smiled and rubbed Miao Xiaomiao's hair. If I have a boyfriend, wouldn't you be the first to tell me? Oh, but you promised to go out with him for dinner and a movie. How can you help me like this? Wang Qianqian smiled. I'll tell you next time. Then she walked away. She knew that Lin Xian didn't want to tell anyone for the time being. So she didn't tell Miao Xiaomiao. So mysterious. Miao Xiaomiao blinked her big eyes in confusion. She had never seen Wang Qianqian so mysterious. On the way to the temple, Lin Xian received a call from Wang Qianqian. "Hello Sister Qianqian, what's up?" Wang Qianqian said. "Qin Xiaotian asked me out just now." Lin Xian raised an eyebrow. "What did he say?" Wang Qianqian said. "In the past, he just wanted me to go out for dinner. This time there's a movie. It's at night. I think he's going to make his move." Dinner and movie. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Maybe he didn't know much in the past, but now he knew very well. This era was very open. Usually, if a girl was willing to go out for dinner and a movie with you at night, even if you weren't in a relationship, as long as the guy had some tricks up his sleeve, he could get a room that night. Therefore, Lin Xian felt that Qin Xiaotian was going to make his move tonight. "Say yes first." Wang Qianqian nodded and asked. "Then what do I have to do tonight?" Lin Xian said, "Don't worry. I've seen the video. He needs some time to absorb what he's going to do. Also, with his temperament, he'll definitely want to ensure his safety. There won't be any problems during dinner and movie. The main thing is to watch the next step after the movie. That should be where he's going to carry out his plan. I'll be there. By the way, if you have to go somewhere with him halfway, be careful. Pay attention to the heavenly void orb. It doesn't matter if it fails. Your safety is the most important thing." Wang Qianqian nodded. "Got it. I'll hang up first." Lin Xian rubbed his chin, his eyes flashing with viciousness. He didn't need to kill Qin Xiaotian, at least not for the time being. What he needed was to let everyone know that he was a fake. In fact, to be honest, killing Qin Xiaotian was very simple. Even if Lin Xian couldn't do it, he could just let Ling Longshui do it last night. But this wasn't enough to let Lin Xian vent his anger. Moreover, Lin Xian still needed him to return the cold body that he took from Linya. Chapter 417. Lin Xian then went to the sanctuary to visit Wang Xintong. This girl was really hardworking. Lin Xian had never seen a girl as hardworking as her. She was probably at the level of Han Qixue and Ling Ying. No, in a certain sense, she was even crazier. Lin Xian's heart ached. After all, she was his girlfriend, okay? But since it was her own choice, Lin Xian supported her. Moreover, she listened to Lin Xian's advice. She was too hardworking in the past. After being reprimanded by Lin Xian, she would not be so crazy anymore. After that, Lin Xian left. In the afternoon, he went to visit Ling Longshui. Lin Xian did not like him, but she did not do anything overboard. After all, Ling Longshui was here. She also stayed with Ling Longshui and Bing Lingyue for the time being. She realized that this kind of life was really good. Most importantly, the two of them knew more about the current human society than she did. They often brought her to eat all kinds of delicious food, play, and even go to the movies. She was very satisfied. In the afternoon, he went shopping with them. Feeling the envious and jealous gazes from all kinds of men, Lin Xian was very satisfied. In the afternoon, he went to the Gale Mercenaries' small cafe. It was already 6 o'clock in the evening. When he opened the door, Lin Xian smelled a fragrant smell. Then he saw Wang Qianqian and Miao Xiaomiao sitting at the table eating. "Why are you here again?" Miao Xiaomiao heard the sound of the door opening and turned to see Lin Xian. She was actually very happy, but she still asked arrogantly, "I'm here to freeload. Is there anything for me?" Lin Xian sat beside Miao Xiaomiao without hesitation. "Yes, I'll help you." Wang Qianqian smiled and stood up. "No, Xiaomiao, you help me." Lin Xian smiled and looked at Miao Xiaomiao. "My star, you big star. How can you scold me?" Lin Xian smiled helplessly. "I'm not going to scoop rice for you. Scoop it yourself." Miao Xiaomiao snorted. "Sigh." Lin Xian then sighed. "I'm such an unwelcome guest. Looks like I won't be coming in the future." Miao Xiaomiao. She knew that he was pretending, but why couldn't she do anything about it? "If you don't want to come, so be it." Miao Xiaomiao snorted. Lin Xian was unhappy. Why did he feel that after Miao Xiaomiao became his girlfriend, other than taking advantage of her a little, she hadn't changed much? However, this was also what made Meow Xiaomiao so cute, and what Lin Xian liked about her. If it was in the past, Meow Xiaomiao wouldn't have said anything after saying this. But now, she was worried that Lin Xian would be angry. After all, she was his girlfriend, and he was indeed a guest. If she didn't help him with something as simple as scooping rice for him, it didn't seem right. She was waiting for Lin Xian to give her a way out. If he did, she would go and scoop rice. Forget it. I'll go. Lin Xian sighed and stood up. Okay. I'll treat you as a guest. I'll scoop rice for you. Meow Xiaomiao pouted and walked away to scoop rice. Although this wasn't a way out, she felt that she should do it. Wang Qianqian was quite surprised. Meow Xiaomiao had been spoiled rotten. When Wang Ba and the others were around, Wang Xian, Chu Meng, and a few others would help her scoop rice. This was the first time she had helped Lin Xian scoop rice. No, it was the second time. The first time was because Miao Jinghao had asked her to do it, so she had no choice. Aren't you going to have dinner with Qin Xiaotian tonight? Why are you still eating at home? Lin Xian looked at Wang Qianqian and asked with a smile. Wang Qianqian shrugged and said helplessly, I'm really going to have dinner. I'll just eat a few bites. Plus, I haven't eaten yet, so I can eat with you. Be careful. Don't eat anything that Qin Xiaotian gives you. Lin Xian reminded her. Qin Xiaotian was a master. His realm was lower than Wang Qianqian's. Wang Qianqian might not be able to defeat him, let alone now that he was basically at the same realm as her. However, Wang Qianqian had the heavenly void orb, so Lin Xian wasn't worried. He was worried that Qin Xiaotian would drug her. If she was unconscious, even the heavenly void orb would be useless. Don't worry. Since I know what kind of person he is, I'll be fully prepared. I'll take an antidote pill before I go, Wang Qianqian said. Antidote pills didn't only cure poisons. They could also cure knockout drugs. Of course, unless it was a very special knockout drug. If it was a poison, it could only cure a very common poison. However, it was enough to cure knockout drugs. Qin Xiaotian couldn't possibly take out a very special knockout drug, right? There didn't seem to be any special knockout drug, right? It wasn't a poison. There were all kinds of strange things. Knockout drugs were basically the kind that was fixed. However, for martial artists, it was still useful when they were completely unguarded. Unless the realm reached a very high level. But the mysterious heaven realm wasn't enough. That's fine. In short, be careful. This person is very shrewd. However, this is precisely his weakness. It allows me to roughly grasp his thoughts. After dinner, after watching the movie, I guess with his methods, he'll probably take you to a hotel. Wang Qianqian wasn't too shy about this topic. Although she hadn't experienced it before, she wasn't an ignorant little girl after all. It can't be, right? Hotels and goose houses are all monitored. With his personality, it's impossible for him to leave any traces. At least he definitely won't go to that kind of place. Wang Qianqian said. Right, you reminded me. Lin Xian suddenly realized and said. But it doesn't matter. When the time comes, just tell me what he'll say. I'll be nearby when we're watching the movie. Also, your phone will always keep track of my location. For safety's sake. Wang Qianqian nodded. I know. At this time, Meow Xiaomiao walked over with the rice and placed it in front of Lin Xian. Eat. Meow Xiaomiao then sat in her seat. However, her big eyes were darting around as she looked at Lin Xian from the corner of her eyes. Right, where's Grandpa Meow? I haven't seen him for a few days. Lin Xian suddenly asked. He picked up the rice and put a piece of tomato scrambled egg into the bowl without warning. Grandpa has been addicted to playing mahjong these days. He plays it all day long. He plays it early in the morning before the sun rises. He eats lunch and dinner with his old friends. He only comes back to sleep at night. Meow Xiaomiao said angrily. The point was that it was her grandfather. She couldn't do anything about it. Wang Qianqian smiled and said, They've been good friends for so many years. They're finally together again. Of course they're happy. Let's eat. Then Lin Xian quickly stuffed a big mouthful into his mouth. The next moment, Lin Xian directly spat it out. Meow Xiaomiao couldn't help but laugh. Chapter 418. Lin Xian quickly snatched Miao Xiaomiao's water and gulped it down for a few seconds. Miao Xiaomiao was speechless. That was her water. It was an indirect kiss again. But she didn't pay much attention to it now, because Lin Xian pushed her stool back and slapped her hard on the butt. Slap. Wang Qianqian heard the crisp sound and shrank into the stool. He seemed to have used a little too much strength. Ah, it hurts. Miao Xiaomiao's tears were about to fall. She stood there holding her butt and glared at Lin Xian with a face full of shame and anger. You know pain? You put a bag of salt in my rice? The salt was very small, and was the same color as the rice. Miao Xiaomiao put some in, and then used the rice on top to press it down. Lin Xian added a mouthful of salt with every mouthful of rice. The sourness was indescribable. This little girl still needed to be taught a lesson. Miao Xiaomiao held her butt aggrievedly. It really hurt. It was burning. She felt like it was going to swell. Lin Xian did use a lot of strength just now. Okay, Xiaomiao, sit down and eat. You were in the wrong first, so you can't blame Lin Xian. Wang Qianqian finished speaking and went to the kitchen to help Lin Xian get more rice. Only Lin Xian and Miao Xiaomiao were left. Miao Xiaomiao looked scared. She was really scared by Lin Xian's slap. Does it hurt? Lin Xian really couldn't hold it in just now. Now that he thought about it, he seemed to have used a little too much strength. What do you think? Miao Xiaomiao's eyes were filled with tears. It wasn't just because of the pain. It was mainly because she felt wronged. When she was fighting outside, it was normal for her to be injured. She wouldn't even cry when she was injured more seriously, let alone when she was slapped by Lin Xian. But why would she cry? Most of all, she felt that Lin Xian, as her boyfriend, had hit her so hard after she pranked him. He didn't have any protective feelings for the fairer sex at all. He didn't like her that much. If he really liked her, would he have used so much strength? Alright. I didn't do it on purpose. I just couldn't hold it in. I apologize to you. Lin Xian's tone softened. Hearing Lin Xian's words, Miao Xiaomiao's grievances disappeared. He was actually a good man. But thinking about it, it was also her fault. She had wanted to eat properly, but suddenly ate a mouthful of salt. Of course she would be angry. Actually, I'm also in the wrong. Miao Xiaomiao mumbled softly. Alright. Kiss me as an apology, and I'll kiss you as an apology. Is that okay? Miao Xiaomiao. No. Then she pouted and sat down on the chair. The moment she sat down, she immediately jumped up. It hurt. Lin Xian saw that Miao Xiaomiao's face was red because she was trying to hold back her laughter. Does it hurt a lot? Let me rub it for you. Go to hell. You pervert. It was a burning pain. In the end, Miao Xiaomiao could only choose to take off her shoes and squat on the chair. She was extremely resentful towards Lin Xian, but she could only blame herself for reaping what she sowed. Wang Qianqian brought the rice to Lin Xian. Then she saw Miao Xiaomiao squatting on the chair and smiled helplessly. Let's see if you'll still cause trouble in the future. Didn't I cause trouble in the past? Miao Xiaomiao mumbled. In the past it was because of Wang Xian. Xiaoming and the rest spoiled you. Lin Xian doesn't. Miao Xiaomiao glared at Lin Xian. As her boyfriend, he was the one who didn't spoil her. Wasn't he being rebellious? But shouldn't it be because of this that Lin Xian had a special place in Miao Xiaomiao's heart? Everyone treated Miao Xiaomiao well, and she was used to it. But all of a sudden, there was someone who went against Miao Xiaomiao in every way. Not only did he save her life, he also went against her in all sorts of ways. Then, he somehow walked into Miao Xiaomiao's heart. This also proved that the person who left the deepest impression on a girl was not the person who made her smile, but the guy who made her cry. The truth might not be completely correct, but at least it was correct most of the time. He's a straight guy. He'll never have a girlfriend in this lifetime. Miao Xiaomiao snorted proudly. Lin Xian actually wanted to say, "What about you? Aren't you Lin Xian's girlfriend?" But Lin Xian didn't say it, because Wang Qianqian was beside them. Miao Xiaomiao only said that to diss Lin Xian. I'm a straight guy? The older sisters all say that I'm their joker, okay? Older sisters. Miao Xiaomiao glanced at Lin Xian with her big eyes. Lin Xian. Wah! Women were indeed scary creatures, no matter how old they were. They're my friends. Lin Xian coughed dryly and said, Wang Qianqian smiled. Miao Xiaomiao's jealousy was obvious enough, okay? She was sure that even if this girl didn't like Lin Xian very much, she must have reached the level of liking him. Sure enough, when it came to picking up girls, it was better to have more tricks up your sleeve. Those honest words were useless. Humph. Miao Xiaomiao snorted again, and didn't continue the topic. It was 7 o'clock, and they had finished eating. Wang Qianqian and Miao Xiaomiao washed the dishes together. Of course, Miao Xiaomiao wanted Lin Xian to wash the dishes as well, but Lin Xian refused. He leaned back on the chair and drank his coffee, making her very unhappy. But could she drag Lin Xian along? Then she covered her butt and went to the kitchen. Lin Xian was thinking about tonight's matter. Before he did something, especially something like what he was doing now, he would think of many possibilities. Although he might not encounter the possibilities he thought of, what if he did encounter them? If he encountered the possibility that he thought of, then it would be much easier to deal with it. With Lin Xian's understanding of Qin Xiaotian, he was very shrewd. Wang Qianqian was right. If he asked Wang Qianqian out, then the place he would take action must be in Tianhua City. As for where he would take action, there would definitely be no surveillance cameras. For example, a hotel or guest house would have surveillance cameras. Once Wang Qianqian went missing, as long as they wanted to investigate, it would definitely lead back to him. Therefore, Qin Xiaotian wouldn't choose such a place. As for where it would be, Lin Xian naturally thought about it. He thought that Qin Xiaotian would definitely take action after eating and watching a movie. After watching a movie, what would he do? Get a room. He would use his methods of picking up girls to trick Wang Qianqian into going to a certain house. If this house didn't have surveillance cameras, then it could be his house, or rather, a place that he rented. At the very least, he had to ensure that before he took action, Wang Qianqian wouldn't notice or suspect anything. Therefore, everything before he took action must be very normal. Chapter 419. These were Lin Xian's guesses. Of course, they were the most likely guesses. Qin Xiaotian would never have guessed that his mask had been torn off, and his target was Lin Xian's bait. He would never have guessed this. Lin Xian and Wang Qianqian kept in touch. Wang Qianqian would send Lin Xian a message every half an hour to update him on the current progress. Their meal lasted for about an hour, and it was already 9 o'clock. 9 or 10 o'clock was the best time to take a girl out to watch a movie. After watching the movie, it would be 11 or 12 o'clock in the morning. Since the girl could stay alone with you until so late, it meant that you had a chance. If you handled it well, you should prepare to take out your ID card. Qin Xiaotian didn't seem to have a girlfriend, nor did he have a girlfriend. Previously, he was pursuing Han Chuxue. Now he was pursuing Yi Yi. But in reality, he wasn't such a pure person. It was obvious. Little Miao Miao, I have something to do. I'll leave first. Miao Xiaomiao was a little reluctant. Although Lin Xian had hit her so hard, it was more out of shyness. Yeah, I have something to do. Can you take me? Once Lin Xian left, Miao Xiaomiao would really be alone. She could play games or something, but she felt bored. No matter what she went out with Lin Xian, she felt that as long as she followed Lin Xian, it would definitely be interesting. Lin Xian rubbed his chin and thought. Wang Qianqian had already gone to watch a movie with Qin Xiaotian. If he went over now, he would only be waiting. He might as well take Miao Xiaomiao to watch a movie and cultivate their relationship. Since he was waiting, he might as well take Miao Xiaomiao along. Moreover, what would happen after that was still unknown. After the movie, Lin Xian would just not bring Miao Xiaomiao along. How about this? I'll take you to watch a movie. Didn't you say you had something to do? Miao Xiaomiao was actually very happy to hear Lin Xian's words. However, she was worried that she would delay Lin Xian's important matters, so she still asked. It had to be said that even though she was young, this girl was quite sensible. No hurry, I'm waiting for a friend. I have something to do tonight. A girl? It would be the middle of the night. Miao Xiaomiao felt that something wasn't right. What are you thinking? I swear I'm going to do something serious. But there should be about 2 hours before she arrives. I can take you to a movie in these 2 hours. I've known you for so long, but I've never taken you to a movie before. So I want to take you to a movie. Yay yay. Miao Xiao Miao was more than happy to hear Lin Xian's words. Lin Xian pinched her cute little nose and said, "But my business tonight is very, very important. If something happens and I have to leave early, you can't blame me." Is it very important? If it was in the past, Miao Xiao Miao would definitely pester him. Was there anything more important than her? But when she saw Lin Xian's serious expression, she knew that it must be very important to Lin Xian. Okay. Lin Xian nodded. Then you go ahead, I won't be going. Miao Xiao Miao said. Although she wanted to go, she was afraid of disturbing Lin Xian. It's okay. I'm just giving you a heads up. If that happens, you can't say that I don't like you anymore. You don't like me to begin with. Miao Xiao Miao mumbled as she recalled how hard Lin Xian had hit her, but in the afternoon. It was still hurting even now. How is that possible? If I don't like you, why would I think about you all the time? Lin Xian teased. You spilled the beans. Miao Xiao Miao pointed at Lin Xian. I'm only 14, and you already have such a perverted idea, pervert. Itue. Lin Xian. So cute. So cute, he thought about the sun. Hee. So now you're saying that I don't like you? Lin Xian pinched her pink cheeks. Miao Xiao Miao's face turned red from Lin Xian's actions. Take it away. I'll go change, give me 5 minutes. Right now. Then Miao Xiao Miao ran into her room in her pajamas. Lin Xian vaguely heard the sound of the door closing and locking. Wow. Was he that scary? This girl was actually afraid that he would go in, and even locked the door. F***ck. In less than 5 minutes, Lin Xian hadn't even finished his cup of coffee when Miao Xiao Miao appeared in front of Lin Xian. Do I look good? Miao Xiao Miao even purposely twirled in front of Lin Xian. Based on Miao Xiao Miao's personality, she wouldn't ask Lin Xian such a question even if she was dressed beautifully. But tonight, perhaps because they were too intimate during the day, Miao Xiao Miao slightly let go of her reserve and arrogance. Lin Xian looked at Miao Xiao Miao in front of him with satisfaction. She was wearing a simple white jacket with a black and white sweater underneath. She was wearing a cute little skirt, black stockings, and white sneakers. Wow. So cute. The main thing was that this girl had a great figure. Although she wasn't tall, her overall proportions were very nice. Especially her outfit. Really, Lin Xian wanted to commit a crime. Not bad. Lin Xian nodded with satisfaction. Just not bad? Miao Xiao Miao pouted. It's a bit small. Is it too small? Miao Xiao Miao tugged at her skirt and jacket. It's not small. Miao Xiao Miao said doubtfully. It's not that the clothes are small. Then what? Halfway through her sentence, Miao Xiao Miao suddenly realized something. Lin Xian, I'll kill you. Ha ha ha. Then, the two of them ran out of the bounty hunter guild while bickering. In the taxi, Lin Xian and Miao Xiao Miao sat in the back. Miao Xiao Miao turned her head and looked out the window angrily. Little Miao, don't be angry. You're not small anymore, okay? I'll help you massage your legs. Lin Xian laughed. In the front, the driver laughed. Did you forget to buy a birthday present for your daughter, and she's throwing a tantrum? Lin Xian. Miao Xiao Miao. Uncle, do we look like father and daughter? Lin Xian asked, confused. The driver paused for a moment, then smiled awkwardly. Sorry, then you should be her uncle? Lin Xian. Uffed. Miao Xiao Miao couldn't help but laugh. Old man. Wow. His mind exploded. Even if he was 7 years older than Miao Xiao Miao, he wasn't at the level of father and uncle, right? At most, he was her brother. No, he was her lover. I'm her lover. Lin Xian said. Chapter 420. Miao Xiao Miao stomped on Lin Xian. Brother, your parents gave birth to your sister a little late. You're older than her by more than 10 years, right? Lin Xian. Uncle, do I look that old? Ha ha ha. I'm sorry. I can't see clearly through the rearview mirror. No offense, but your sister is very pretty. She has the potential to be a star. Miao Xiao Miao heard his words and looked at Lin Xian. She snorted proudly as if to say, Did you hear that? I'm that pretty. Did you see that? She's a natural beauty. You found a treasure. You should take good care of her. and not spank her like you did in the afternoon. She's not that smart. She'll be cheated if she becomes a star. Lin Xian said. Who are you calling dumb? Miao Xiaomiao wrinkled her nose cutely and glared at Lin Xian. Ha ha ha, just kidding, just kidding. The driver laughed and said, you guys are really close. Just like my brother and sister, they fight all day long. Lin Xian laughed and said, fighting proves that we're close. Ha ha ha, that's true. The driver laughed and said. Soon they arrived at the cinema. Lin Xian happened to see two figures walking in side by side at the entrance. They were Qin Xiaotian and Wang Qianqian. Wang Qianqian had turned around just now, so Lin Xian happened to see her, but Miao Xiaomiao didn't see them. What are you looking at? Miao Xiaomiao followed Lin Xian's gaze. But they just walked in. I just saw a girl. She seems to be my first love. Where? Where? Miao Xiaomiao looked around. Here, I'm holding hands. Miao Xiaomiao stopped in her tracks and quickly let go of Lin Xian. Her face turned red in an instant. Damn, you're so good at sweet talking. You've cheated a lot of girls, haven't you? Didn't I just trick you, little girl? Miao Xiaomiao rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. As if I'd believe you. Let's go watch a movie. Then she ran over. Of course, her heart was still filled with sweetness. Lin Xian felt very awkward. The awkward part was that when he came out with Miao Xiaomiao, everyone thought that they were siblings. He really wanted to shout, look, this girl is my little girlfriend, the very little kind. Are you jealous? However, even Lin Xian felt like he was bringing his little sister out to play. He didn't feel like he had too many girlfriends, okay? This was also because Miao Xiaomiao was too young. However, 14 years old wasn't too young, right? Lin Xian rubbed his chin as he thought. Then he caught up with her. Generally speaking, they were waiting for time. Wang Qianqian and Qin Xiaotian were definitely waiting in the hall. If they went in at this time, they would be easily discovered. Don't worry, they sell ice cream over there. Don't you like it? Let's go buy something to eat. Lin Xian held Miao Xiaomiao's little hand and said, when did I say that I like ice cream? It's something that only children like to eat. Miao Xiaomiao said proudly. You're not a child. Lin Xian laughed. Miao Xiaomiao said unhappily, I'm not a child. Okay. Then big girl, let's go buy something delicious first, okay? Isn't there food in the theater? Are you going or not? If not, I'm going to spank you. Lin Xian glared at her. Miao Xiaomiao subconsciously shrank back. Let's go, okay? Humph. We'll know if it's small or not after we try it. Lin Xian mumbled behind them. What did you say? Miao Xiaomiao turned her head. Nothing. Let's go buy something to eat. Uncle, one vanilla, almond, strawberry, blueberry, cream and chocolate flavors. Lin Xian. Lin Xian looked at the excited Miao Xiaomiao and couldn't help but twitch his mouth. She still said that she didn't like it? Hey, aren't you afraid of getting fat? Miao Xiaomiao said proudly. I'm a natural beauty. Okay. You're a natural beauty, you're awesome. Lin Xian smiled helplessly. More than 10 minutes had passed since they finished making the ice cream. Lin Xian felt that it was about time. Then, they carried the ice cream and walked in. The first thing Lin Xian did when he went in was scan Qin Xiaotian's figure. When he didn't see Lin Xian, he sighed in relief. What movie are you watching? Miao Xiaomiao licked the ice cream with her small tongue and blinked her big eyes as she asked Lin Xian. Horror movie. Whoosh! Miao Xiaomiao's face instantly turned red. Big pig trotter. Then she cursed under her breath. F***ck. Why are you cursing me? Humph. You men watch horror movies to take advantage of girls. Don't think that I don't know. Miao Xiaomiao snorted. Okay, then let's not watch horror movies, okay? Lin Xian felt that it was impossible to meet Qin Xiaotian and Miao Xiaomiao if they watched horror movies normally. He really didn't want to take advantage of Miao Xiaomiao. Logically speaking, the two of them would watch romance movies in this kind of atmosphere. Horror movies weren't suitable. Watching romance movies would stimulate a girl's hormones. After watching it, the chances of them going to a hotel room would be higher. These were all the details of asking a girl out. Lin Xian knew all this. He didn't believe that Qin Xiaotian didn't know. Whatever. Actually, Miao Xiaomiao felt that watching horror movies was fine too. If she had known, she wouldn't have said it. Ah, damn it. Lin Xian said. Also, you're my girlfriend. It's natural for me to take advantage of you and lie to you. No, that's not taking advantage of you. That's called exercising my rights as a boyfriend. Lin Xian said with a smile. In your dreams. Miao Xiaomiao then walked to the front desk. Lin Xian followed her. Can we watch that? Miao Xiaomiao pointed at a romance movie. Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose and nodded. You can watch it if you want. Okay. Then Miao Xiaomiao said, Sister, we want that movie. Let's choose these 2 seats. Choose the 2 seats at the back, Lin Xian said. Since it was a romance movie, and he was here with Miao Xiaomiao, how could he not take advantage of her? In this theater, the last row was a sacred place. Why the last row? It's so far away. You can see further if you sit higher, Lin Xian explained. The receptionist obviously understood these things. But when she saw Lin Xian and Miao Xiaomiao, she was surprised. They were a couple. That shouldn't be, right? This girl was so young. Could this guy be so perverted? Wow. Also, she recognized Lin Xian. This theater was where Lin Xian went before. She recognized Lin Xian, not because of how handsome he was, but because of Linglong Shui and Bing Lingyue. The 2 girls' beauty was still fresh in her memory, so Lin Xian left a deep impression on her. Last time there were 2 beautiful girls, and this time, there was a minor. Wow. Was this guy a love saint? Wasn't he too invincible? And he was a love saint who had been around since he was young. He had some skills. Is that so? But everyone says this seat is the best. Chapter 421. Miao Xiaomiao knew what it meant when a guy asked a girl to watch a horror movie, but she really didn't know much about it. This seat is not bad, but for people with good eyesight, the last row is the best. Otherwise, why would there be rows at the back? Oh, okay. After a few seconds, Miao Xiaomiao realized something. What did the rows at the back have to do with this? The seats at the back could accommodate more people. What did the rest have to do with it? She felt that Lin Xian was up to something, but she couldn't put her finger on it. That's why girls with less experience and more naive girls were easily tricked. Then they walked into the studio. The studio was dark as usual. Most of the light came from the screen in front of them. Lin Xian and Miao Xiaomiao sat in the last row. You're lying. What's so good about the last row? Miao Xiaomiao pouted and looked at Lin Xian. Not good. It's pretty good. Lin Xian put his hand on Miao Xiaomiao's leg as he spoke. Miao Xiaomiao shuddered. She seemed to have understood something. Take it away. Miao Xiaomiao quickly removed Lin Xian's hand and sat next to him. She was 1 seat away from Lin Xian. Bastard. 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 Pig trotter. The seats at the back couldn't be filled. As long as no one bought a fixed ticket, they could sit wherever they wanted. Lin Xian didn't lie to Linglong Shui and the others like that. Come and sit. I won't touch you anymore, okay? Lin Xian smiled and looked at Miao Xiaomiao. Really? Miao Xiaomiao asked doubtfully. Really? Then Miao Xiaomiao sat down. She didn't believe it, but women were really like that. After sitting down, Lin Xian patted his chest and said, Come and watch the movie comfortably in my arms. Or I'll give you a broad shoulder. No, I like to lean against the back. Thank you, Miao Xiaomiao said. Being disobedient is not likable. Lin Xian then pulled Miao Xiaomiao into his arms and pressed her little head against his chest. Miao Xiaomiao. Come, that's it. I'll feed you popcorn. Lin Xian then fed Miao Xiaomiao some popcorn. In the beginning, Miao Xiaomiao did struggle because she was reserved. But slowly, she felt that it was not bad. It was comfortable, and there were people feeding her good food and watching movies. It was really comfortable. Then she became like this. Towards the end, she did not even notice Lin Xian's hand on her leg. Lin Xian didn't do anything out of line. He watched the movie and waited for Wang Qianqian's news. After about an hour and a half, Lin Xian and Wang Qianqian's movie was basically coming to an end. At this moment, in Qin Xiaotian's studio, Wang Qianqian and Qin Xiaotian sat together and watched a romance movie. Qin Xiaotian was not in the mood to watch a movie. He was actually quite nervous. Tonight was indeed the time for him to make his move, but doing this kind of thing, no matter how many times he did it, would not feel at ease. It was normal to be nervous. Qin Xiaotian slowly reached out his hand to Wang Qianqian. He did not say anything, and just held her hand. For people who had not confirmed their relationship, there was no need to say anything. Just make a move. Because girls were reserved, they would reject you if you said anything. This was very common. For example, chatting on certain apps, and then asking someone out to eat or watch a movie. Basically, it was like this. Wang Qianqian was not an ordinary girl. What she needed to act now was a seemingly reserved image, but in fact, she was like those men and women who chatted on apps. So she did not say anything, and just let Qin Xiaotian hold her hand. It was just a handshake. It was nothing. It was nothing to Wang Qianqian, unlike girls like Lu Yufan and Yi Yi. After all, she was already 25 or 26 years old, and had experienced a lot. She could be very calm. However, after helping him, she had to ask Lin Xian for some service fees. She had been taken advantage of. Otherwise, she would be unhappy. It was no problem for friends to help friends, but she had to complain to Lin Xian. When Qin Xiaotian saw that Wang Qianqian did not retract her hand, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. So he knew that he would definitely succeed tonight. As long as he could trick Wang Qianqian into his house, then he would succeed. For some experienced boys, without establishing a relationship, without saying anything, without asking, holding her hand without rejecting, the girl had already made it clear. Qin Xiaotian was also clear, so he felt that he would succeed tonight. He was most worried that Wang Qianqian would not agree. But now it seemed that there was no need to worry. Of course, the normal Wang Qianqian was not such a person. She would definitely not agree. Wasn't this helping Lin Xian act? That's right. Lin Xian had guessed Qin Xiaotian's plan correctly. Hotels and guest houses had surveillance cameras. The place he wanted to take action was his own house. Actually, it was not his house. He had rented it in advance for this matter. He had confirmed that there were no surveillance cameras in this neighborhood. For someone of his status, renting a house for his target was simply a piece of cake. In his own house, to be on the safe side, he would drug her and then take action. In Qin Xiaotian's eyes, Wang Qianqian was at the arcane body realm. Even if he did not drug her, he could still take action. However, he was really too cautious. Even if he felt that he was a realm higher than Wang Qianqian, he still had to choose the safest method. Of course, if she did not eat the food he had drugged, then he would take action directly. In any case, it was best to be safe. It was not wrong for him to be cautious, but he had one fatal weakness, which was his conceit. Being cautious did not mean that he was not conceited. His conceit was because he thought that his plan was flawless. As long as he followed the plan, there would be no problems. That was normal. But he never would have thought that this target was actually Lin Xian's bait. And Lin Xian had already begun to carry out his plan. He never would have thought. He also never would have thought that Lin Xian had the video of him killing Zhang Tian's sister, Zhang Ai. He also never would have thought that Chu Haohan had the video of him appearing in Lin Ye's house. These two were not enough. One was masked, and the other was filmed from the front. However, if he could film the next part, then the three could be linked together. Qin Xiaotian was already immersed in his results tonight. He might even be able to *CK this girl before taking action. Although Wang Qianqian was not a beauty like Han Chuxue or Yi Yi, she could still be considered a beauty. If he could *CK her for free, then it would not be a loss. Of course, that was not necessarily the case. After all, his main goal was to take action. As the credits ended, everyone left the studio. The two of them also walked out of the theater. Chapter 422. At this time, Lin Xian received a message from Wang Qianqian. There wasn't much content, only that they had finished watching the movie and were leaving the theater. She didn't know what happened next and would tell Lin Xian later. Lin Xian's movie was coming to an end, but Lin Xian couldn't accompany Miao Xiaomiao any longer. Little Miao Miao, I won't accompany you anymore. Go back early after you're done. Lin Xian ruffled Miao Xiaomiao's hair and said, Oh, then go do your thing. Miao Xiaomiao was a little disappointed, but she knew that Lin Xian had important things to do, so she wouldn't be unreasonable. Okay, I'm leaving. After that, Lin Xian hurriedly left. There was no need to worry about Miao Xiao Miao's safety, although it might be quite chaotic, and it was the middle of the night. A little girl like Miao Xiao Miao would definitely be targeted by some people with bad intentions. But don't forget, she was at the mysterious heaven realm. If there really was one, he would probably be beaten half to death by Miao Xiao Miao. Lin Xian walked out and saw Wang Qianqian and Qin Xiaotian somewhere outside the theater. Lin Xian then hid. Qin Xiaotian smiled at Wang Qianqian. Are you hungry? Do you want to have a midnight snack? Wang Qianqian shook her head and said, I'm not hungry. If I eat in the middle of the night, I'll get fat. Then what are you going to do next? I don't know. Usually, when the girl said that she didn't know, it meant that the door was already open. If she really didn't have that intention, she would definitely say that she wanted to go home. Then there was really no hope. But since she said that she didn't know, what did that prove? She didn't want to go home. Then what did she want to do? Get to know her better. Then shall we go to your house, mine or Ru's? Qin Xiaotian smiled and said. Wang Qianqian smiled politely and didn't answer. Let's go, I'll drive to my house. Qin Xiaotian didn't give Wang Qianqian a chance to answer. He took out his car keys and got into the car. Wang Qianqian naturally followed behind him. This was a very common process. They didn't have to wait for the girl's response, because most of the time, she wouldn't give a response. What the boy had to do was to help her respond. If Lin Xian knew what Qin Xiaotian had said, he would definitely laugh himself to death. As expected, he was a veteran. Why are you still pretending to be a good person in school? If you don't have a girlfriend, why are you still pursuing Yi? Tui. Then Lin Xian hailed a taxi and followed them. At the same time, he received a message from Wang Qianqian. She was going to his house. As expected, looks like he's about to make a move. Then, he sent a message back to Wang Qianqian, telling her that safety was the priority, and that he would try his best not to show up. Lin Xian was only there for 2 reasons: to film. If he couldn't film, there was still Wang Qianqian to film. Anyway, there were 2 of them. Another important thing was to protect Wang Qianqian's safety. If anything happened to her, Lin Xian would use his space attribute to save her. With Lin Xian's strength, Qin Xiaotian definitely wouldn't be able to block the power of space released. Qin Xiaotian's rented house was actually quite far away from here. It was probably deliberately far away. After about half an hour, they arrived at a small district. Qin Xiaotian drove into the district, while Lin Xian got out of the car at the entrance of the district and quickly ran in. The district was quite old, but it wasn't shabby. It mainly depended on the decoration of the house. If it was well decorated, it would definitely be very beautiful. The highest floor was 6 floors, and there was no elevator. Lin Xian observed that there was a camera at the entrance, but the cameras in the district were basically broken. If the car was driven, the camera at the entrance wouldn't be able to capture the appearance of the person inside the car. With Lin Xian's strength as a mysterious heaven realm 3-star, although he didn't have the dark attribute, it was still very easy for him to hide. Unless there was a stronger person deliberately releasing their divine sense to investigate. But how could Qin Xiaotian know that someone was secretly following behind? Moreover, this district was generally dark, making it even easier to hide. 3rd floor left side. Lin Xian received another message from Wang Qianqian. 3rd floor ah. Lin Xian rubbed his chin, then released his spatial attribute, and directly stood on top of an air conditioner box on the 3rd floor. This place was quite good, and he could see the situation in the room. And this room was one of the bedrooms. Then Lin Xian stopped moving. It was close to midnight, and it was very quiet. Soon, the lights in the room in front of Lin Xian were turned on, and Qin Xiaotian and Wang Qianqian walked in. I'll go take a shower first. Wang Qianqian said to Qin Xiaotian. Okay, you go first. Qin Xiaotian nodded and said, then walked away with Wang Qianqian. The corner of Qin Xiaotian's mouth rose slightly, then poured a glass of milk for her and drugged it. About 10 minutes later, Wang Qianqian finished her shower and walked in. You go take a shower too. Wang Qianqian looked at Qin Xiaotian and said with a slightly coquettish tone. Okay, I'll be done soon. There's milk on the table, drink a glass. Qin Xiaotian didn't want to do anything else. The sooner he finished, the sooner he could leave. The sooner he did it, the more relieved he would be. Wang Qianqian nodded and picked up the glass of milk. Qin Xiaotian then walked out, then walked into the bathroom and closed the door. Soon, the sound of the shower came from inside. Wang Qianqian walked to the window, only a wall away from Lin Xian. Lin Xian heard their entire conversation and knew that Qin Xiaotian was taking a shower. Then he stuck his head out. Wang Qianqian was really shocked when she saw Lin Xian's head suddenly appear in front of her. Then, she nodded at Lin Xian without saying a word. They didn't communicate at all, because they were worried that the slightest sound might be heard. Lin Xian sent a message to Wang Qianqian. The curtains will definitely be drawn later, so it's basically impossible for me to film. I'm counting on you. Alright, the milk was drugged. Wang Qianqian nodded at Lin Xian, then turned on her phone to record. She placed it in a potted plant in the corner. She glanced at it and was able to record it on the bed. Then, she breathed a sigh of relief. Then, she lay on the bed and drank all the milk. Lin Xian was stunned when he saw this scene. Wow! She was so dedicated. Lin Xian was really touched. She clearly knew that the milk was drugged, but she still drank it. She could have secretly poured the milk away, but she was worried that there would be any accidents, so she still chose to drink it. However, Wang Qianqian had taken the antidote beforehand, so she wasn't too worried. Then, Wang Qianqian lay on the bed and closed her eyes in a very natural posture, pretending to be asleep. Lin Xian swore that if this matter was successful, even if Wang Qianqian didn't want it, Lin Xian would have to thank her properly. About 10 minutes later, Qin Xiaotian walked out while drying his hair. He deliberately looked into the bedroom and saw that the glass of milk was empty. Wang Qianqian was lying on the bed asleep. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Chapter 423. Qin Xiaotian walked to Wang Qianqian's side and sighed. It's not that I want to do anything to you, but I need you right now. You just happened to appear. I can only say that you're unlucky. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with killing intent when he heard his words. What was this called? Pretending to be a prostitute? He was obviously going to kill her, yet he was still sighing. Was he pretending? Qin Xiaotian then walked out indifferently, poured himself a glass of red wine, and walked in. Then, he sat on the sofa next to the bedroom, swaying the red wine and slowly tasting it. He was no longer in a hurry. She was already unconscious. He had plenty of time. Wouldn't it be nice to slowly enjoy this kind of time? Lin Xian was about to faint. Damn it, hurry up and do it. He was still waiting to go home and sleep with Ling Ying's wife. After about 10 minutes, Qin Xiaotian finished the rest of the red wine in one gulp. Then, he walked to the bedside and closed the curtains. Then he walked to the bedside. Lin Xian could hear the footsteps outside. He probably knew that it was time to make a move. Once he made a move, it would be over. Now Lin Xian was only worried about one thing, and that was Wang Qianqian's safety. Lin Xian knew that Qin Xiaotian was absorbing the ice energy for no reason, because Linya was an example. The reason why those people died was because Qin Xiaotian killed them to silence them. Therefore, before this, Wang Qianqian would be fine. However, Lin Xian would not allow Qin Xiaotian to absorb all of Wang Qianqian's ice energy. He didn't know the situation inside. He only hoped that during the period when the ice energy was being absorbed, Wang Qianqian could resist if she wanted to. If she couldn't, Lin Xian would have to make a move. However, the awkward thing was that he didn't know what was going on inside. He wasn't sure if he would enter early or late. Therefore, Lin Xian could only pray that Wang Qianqian wouldn't be restrained during this period. Qin Xiaotian looked at Wang Qianqian lying on the bed. Qin Xiaotian sneered and muttered to himself, "You look pretty good, but I'm used to seeing women like Han Chuxue. You can't arouse this young master's desire anymore." Then he continued, "Blame it on Lin Xian. If he hadn't gone to act in that musical with Ling Ying, he wouldn't have invited you to be the scene controller. Then, I wouldn't have known about you, and I wouldn't have done anything to you. So after you die, take revenge on Lin Xian." "No," Qin Xiaotian suddenly said. Lin Xian, you can't find him. This young master will personally kill Lin Xian. And then in front of him, I will fuck all the women who are related to him. Of course, this includes that beautiful sister of his. 3 years ago, I only absorbed his sister's ice body, because that was the first time I did it. So I was still a little flustered. It's a pity that such a peerless beauty, otherwise, no matter what, I would have done it. But it doesn't matter, in these 3 years, she has grown more and more beautiful. And soon I will be able to enjoy her. Qin Xiaotian licked his lips and sneered. Of course, as long as this young master has the strength, not only that Linya, Han Chuxue, Linging Xiao Runing, but any woman this young master fancies, this young master will make them submit. As for you, you are just a pitiful sacrifice, but you won't lose out. It's your honor to be able to become this young master's strength. Lin Xian, who was outside, was furious. This B** starred not only had designs on his little fairy, but he also had designs on Xiao Runing. But Lin Xian couldn't help but smile. What kind of situation was this? His arrogance and his words had caused him to self-destruct. Even without the previous 2 videos, he was already finished. So Lin Xian, don't look for me. Just obediently become my powerful nourishment. With that, Qin Xiaotian's body exploded with power, causing the room to freeze into ice. Following that, Qin Xiaotian's right hand condensed blue energy. Following that, he placed his hand in front of Wang Qianqian's face and slowly pulled outwards. Wang Qianqian opened her mouth. From her mouth, a cold energy was extracted by Qin Xiaotian and wrapped around Qin Xiaotian's body. Awesome. This cold energy, it's really awesome. Qin Xiaotian let out a wild laugh that made people tremble in fear. At this moment, Wang Qianqian felt terrible. The cold energy in her body was being extracted. She was conscious, but she felt like she was being frozen. This should be enough, right? Wang Qianqian thought. The reason why she hadn't made a move yet was because she wanted to take more videos. The more videos she took, the more convincing it would be. After about 5 seconds, she felt that she couldn't wait any longer. Otherwise, the cold energy in her body would really be gone. Although it wasn't fatal, once her ice attribute was gone, the damage to her body would be too great. Suddenly Qin Xiaotian frowned. No, her strength is mysterious heaven realm. That's right, Qin Xiaotian suddenly realized this point. The gap between mysterious heaven realm and mysterious body realm was huge. Moreover, before this, he knew that Wang Qianqian was only around 4-star mysterious body realm. It was impossible for her to reach mysterious heaven realm in such a short time. When he suddenly thought of this, with his cautious personality, he realized that something was wrong. He lowered his head and saw Wang Qianqian opening her eyes. I didn't expect you to be such a person, Wang Qianqian said. You didn't faint? Qin Xiaotian was shocked. I fainted, but I woke up. In order not to expose too much, Wang Qianqian didn't say anything. Swish! In the next moment, Wang Qianqian's figure disappeared. Bang! Qin Xiaotian smashed the bed with a slap. Where is she? Qin Xiaotian's eyes were red. Never in his wildest dreams did he expect such a change to occur. What did it mean for her to run away? It meant that he was exposed. There was one more person in this world who knew his true face. But why did she suddenly disappear? At that moment, Qin Xiaotian's mind was in a mess. Whoosh! Qin Xiaotian broke out of the window and rushed out. At this moment, Lin Xian took advantage of the moment when he broke the window to teleport into the house and took away Wang Qianqian's phone. Qin Xiaotian, you're finished. Lin Xian sneered, then released his power and made a space jump of nearly 1,000 meters. With Lin Xian's current strength, even with such a low space proficiency, he could make a space jump of about 1,000 meters with all his strength. If he maxed out his proficiency, he could reach nearly 10,000 meters. At this moment, Wang Qianqian's figure suddenly appeared in Lin Xian's house. Wang Qianqian took a deep breath. This was the limit of what she could do. She believed that Lin Xian should be able to take the phone away. It wasn't that she didn't want to take it, but she didn't want to expose that she was filming. Moreover, she was frozen just now. It would take time for her to break free. If Qin Xiaotian was more decisive, she would die. Therefore, She chose to use the heavenly void pearl that Lin Xian gave her. That was the safest way. The three girls' gazes fell on Wang Qianqian. Wang Qianqian also saw them. Linglong Shui recognized her. After all, they had been to Deep Freeze Valley together. Chapter 424. Wang Qianqian got up from the ground. She didn't know how she was teleported here. Lin Xian didn't tell her where she was teleported to. Anyway, Lin Xian said that she would be teleported to a safe place. Who knew that she would see three people when she landed? Linglong Shui was wearing a veil, so Wang Qianqian couldn't recognize her. Linglong Shui and Bing Lingyue were the same. When they met everyone, it was Bing Lingyue who gave her a veil, so Wang Qianqian couldn't recognize her. However, the two of them recognized Wang Qianqian. Linglong Shui immediately knew that Wang Qianqian was here because of the heavenly void jewel. Her first reaction was curiosity. She knew that Lin Xian asked her for the heavenly void jewel to save the lives of the people around him. But he used it now. Did that mean that Lin Xian was also in some kind of danger? Linglong Shui thought a lot. She was actually faintly worried. How should she put it? In her eyes, the profound heaven realm was far, far too weak. No matter where they went, they wouldn't have the ability to protect themselves. And with Lin Xian's troublemaking personality, it was very likely that he had a lot of enemies. Otherwise, he wouldn't have asked her for something that could save his life. Your aura is chaotic. Linglong Shui didn't need to think to know that the woman in front of her was Lin Xian's friend. She raised her hand slightly, and a surge of energy entered Wang Qianqian's body. Her aura instantly stabilized. Wang Qianqian was shocked. How strong was this fairy-like woman? Qin Xiaotian had forcibly absorbed some of the cold energy in her body. It wasn't fatal, but it would cause some damage to her. It would take some time for her to recover. However, the woman in front of her, who looked like she was in her 20s, completely healed her. She was Lin Xian's friend? The three beautiful women here were all Lin Xian's friends? If they weren't, why would Lin Xian's heavenly void jewel bring her here? Thank you. Wang Qianqian cupped her fist slightly. Lin Xian is in danger now. Linglong Shui asked. Wang Qianqian was sure that they were Lin Xian's friends. I don't know. I was doing something with Lin Xian. I came back first. He should be fine. Wang Qianqian said. Yes, you're fine now. Linglong Shui nodded slightly. Thank you. I'll take my leave then. Then, Wang Qianqian walked away, and they did not ask her to stay. Elder sister, what relationship does she have with you? Why are you helping her? Also, if Lin Xian is in danger, then so be it. Who cares about him? On the sofa, Linglong Yue said casually while eating ice cream. Don't worry about it. Linglong Shui said. Linglong Yue snorted and turned her anger into appetite as she crazily devoured the ice cream. Do you want to go and have a look? Bing Lingyue looked at Linglong Shui. Linglong Shui shook her head. I don't think so. Let's rest. At this moment, Lin Xian was on his way home. He did not know the direction that Qin Xiaotian was chasing in. Anyway, it was close to 1,000 meters of space jump. Lin Xian was basically far away from that place. Qin Xiaotian would not be able to catch up to him no matter what. Lin Xian took out his phone and called Wang Qianqian. Are you okay? Lin Xian asked. Wang Qianqian said. Don't worry. I'm on my way back now. What about you? I got it. He absorbed your cold energy. Are you alright? I'm fine. Also, I met a few of your friends at the place where I used the heavenly void orb. They helped me heal. Actually, Wang Qianqian wanted to ask who they were. But after thinking about it, she decided against it. Lin Xian was touched. Linglong Shui and the others were still giving him face. Oh right, that Qin Xiaotian doesn't know where you live, right? Lin Xian asked. I don't know. Why? Wang Qianqian asked. Lin Xian said. You saw through his mask. Although he doesn't know that he has been filmed, you will be in danger for the time being. So Sister Qianqian, can you find a safe place for the next few days? If you really can't, you can go back to your previous home. I'll let them know. You can follow them for the next few days. I know that, but there's no need. I'll be sleeping in the Wind Mercenary Group for the next few days. I can accompany Little Meow. Wind Mercenary Group? Is it safe? Lin Xian frowned and asked. If it's not safe, little Meow might be in danger too. With Qin Xiaoyan's ability, even if he doesn't know you, it shouldn't be difficult for him to find you. Lin Xian said. Don't worry. Do you think our Wind Mercenary Group is just an ordinary coffee shop? Do you think the Bounty Hunter Guild building is a place where people can do whatever they want? During this period, I only need to rest in the Bounty Hunter Guild. As for going out to play, it won't be a problem as long as I'm in a crowded place. Don't worry about that. Lin Xian nodded. Just be careful. As for him, I'll deal with him after the Tianwu conference ends. There are still a few days left. Understood. By the way, I suffered a lot and was taken advantage of quite a bit. Wang Qianqian said with a smile. Lin Xian smiled. Don't worry. I'll go to your place tomorrow. I'll definitely pay you what I owe you. Ha ha ha, I'm just kidding. Just treat me to a meal. Wang Qianqian said with a smile. That won't do. I'll feel bad if I treat you to a meal. Alright then, I'll wait. I'll go back first. The two hung up the phone. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with a sharp light. Qin Xiaotian, you should be panicking right now. You should be so panicked that you want to cry. Unfortunately, if I didn't want to be safe, I would have laughed in front of you. Qin Xiaotian was really panicking. He looked around aimlessly and in the end, he couldn't find Wang Qianqian. He tried to call her, but her phone was all turned off. Bang! Qin Xiaotian angrily smashed down a tree. His eyes flashed with killing intent. No! He needed to calm down. Even if something like this happened, he needed to calm down first. Qin Xiaotian took a deep breath. He was carefully recalling everything that had happened. He was thinking, was Wang Qianqian a conspiracy against him? Or was everything just a coincidence? A conspiracy? A premeditated plan? Qin Xiaotian felt that it was impossible. How could she know what he had done in the past? How could she know? However, if she had a relationship with Lin Xian, then it was possible. Lin Xian and she knew each other. She should have fainted, but she didn't. Qin Xiaotian couldn't be sure if she woke up after fainting, but it was a fact that she saw him. Qin Xiaotian thought that there were two possibilities. First, it was a conspiracy between her and Lin Xian. That was possible. Second, it was really just a coincidence. That was also possible. It's not a big deal even if she found out. One person's testimony is useless. Even if Lin Xian is added, it's useless unless they have evidence. Qin Xiaotian muttered. Wait, do they have evidence? Chapter 425. Qin Xiaotian didn't know any of this. However, he was used to thinking of the worst. This wasn't a bad habit. If Wang Qianqian and Lin Xian were working together, then they might have evidence. Qin Xiaotian secretly clenched his fists. He had to think so. Therefore, he had to do this. Then he took out his phone. Help me investigate a person called Wang Qianqian. Give me the results. Also, spend tens of millions to hire a few Thunder Calamity stage powerhouses to go to Lin Xian's house. Even if they can't catch Lin Xian, they must catch his sister. This was the worst news. The worst news was that Wang Qianqian and Lin Xian were in cahoots. Moreover, they already had evidence of him. Logically speaking, he had completely lost. However, before that, he still had a chance to turn the tables. The first was to kill Wang Qianqian. The second was to kill Lin Xian directly. Even if he couldn't kill Lin Xian, as long as he could control Linya, with the importance that Lin Xian attached to Linya, he could definitely threaten Lin Xian. Previously, Qin Xiaotian had been hesitant to kill Lin Xian because he was worried that something would go wrong. Now he couldn't wait any longer. Even if there was danger, he had to take action. Of course, there was good news. Wang Qianqian and Lin Xian weren't working together. She had really been seduced by him. It was just that when he was absorbing her cold energy, she woke up because of her body. Coincidentally, she had a spatial spiritual device that escaped. It was also possible. Moreover, how could she have evidence? To put it simply, she had to film the scene of him taking action. However, she left immediately. She didn't take any filming equipment with her. Qin Xiaotian suddenly thought of this. He had to hurry back and thoroughly investigate the entire room. He only hoped that the worst possibility was false. Little did he know that Lin Xian had already entered his room and taken away his phone. At this moment, Lin Xian turned on his phone and watched the video. It couldn't be clearer. Qin Xiaotian returned to his room. He searched the room thoroughly and didn't find anything unusual. In fact, he was relieved. Then he received Wang Qianqian's information. Bounty Hunter Guild? Qin Xiaotian frowned. The information did not show the relationship between Lin Xian and Wang Qianqian. Why? This was because although Lin Xian had joined the Gale mercenary group, he had not registered. The money he earned was shared with the mercenary group. In fact, Lin Xian was more like a helper of the Wind mercenary group than a registered member. This was because Lin Xian had said that he would not join any forces. If she stays in the Bounty Hunter Guild all the time, it will be difficult to make a move. However, if there is no evidence, it won't matter if it's just her words. It won't matter even if I tell Lin Xian, Qin Xiaotian muttered. But no matter what, he had to get rid of Lin Xian tonight, or take Lin Yu away. Only then would it be the safest. When Lin Xian returned home, Ling Ying and Lin Yu were already asleep. He simply returned to his room. F***ck. He was in such a good mood that he wished he could go out and dance right now. Only by dancing and having fun would he be able to fit his current mood. It was a pity that there was no one to accompany him in the middle of the night. Lin Xian was so happy that he couldn't fall asleep. Late at night, in Lin Xian's house, which was where Ling Longshui and the others were staying, the three girls were still awake. They had already showered and were sitting on the sofa in their pajamas, playing Fight the Landlord. This was what Lin Xian had taught them. They had nothing to do, so they would watch TV and play Fight the Landlord. As for their bet, it was probably the biggest bet in the world. There were all kinds of rare crystals, elixirs, and even divine fruits. In the human world, any one of them would be worth millions, or even tens of millions. At this moment, Ling Longshui frowned slightly, and her beautiful eyes shone. Then it was Bing Lingyue, followed by Ling Longyue. They really don't know what's good for them. How dare they spy on us? Ling Longyue's pretty face was filled with anger as she stood up. No hurry, Ling Longshui said softly. Bing Lingyue said, they are probably here for Lin Xian. Who were they? How could anyone be here for them? This was Lin Xian's house. Naturally, they were here for Lin Xian. However, they didn't know that the person living here was no longer Lin Xian. Then I will tell them where Lin Xian is staying, Ling Longyue said. Ling Longshui. Bing Lingyue. Because Lin Xian peeked at Ling Longshui the last time, Ling Longyue had a lot of complaints about him. How should she put it? He didn't even peek at her sister, which made her angry. Ling Longshui then said, wait for them. Then the three of them continued to play cards. At this moment, there were a few figures stealthily moving in the dark outside. It was obvious that they were experts. They went directly to the window on the second floor and quietly observed the three girls in the living room. They were slightly surprised. Didn't they say that Lin Xian and his sister were living here? Why were there three girls? Could it be that two of them were their friends? Then, they threw something unknown into the room through the window. It exploded in the room and created a fog. Then, 5 figures rushed in and fired a rocket launcher at the location where they were just standing. Then a net was released. Hey! A voice suddenly came from behind them, and the pupils of the few people suddenly shrank. They were all experts in the lightning calamity stage. However, for people who didn't have a high cultivation level, it was best for them not to use their powers, because they were ordered to capture people, not kill people. But why didn't they notice that someone suddenly appeared behind them? They suddenly turned around and saw 2 tall beauties leaning on the balcony with their arms crossed looking at them. Then a small figure suddenly appeared in front of them. Bang bang bang. Ling Longyue's figure was like a ghost. It was as if she had punched the 5 of them in the face in an instant. The 5 of them were stunned. TSK lightning calamity stage. Ling Longyue clapped her hands and then walked to the balcony. Sister, should we kill them? Ling Longyue asked. Ling Longshui glanced and then said, ask them where they came from first. Okay. Then Ling Longyue walked in. She waved her hand and created a few ropes to tie up the unconscious people. Then she walked over. Slap, slap, slap. The sound of the slaps made people feel a chill down their spine. This Ling Longyue was a slightly violent girl. These few slaps woke them up. The moment they woke up, they released their powers to try and break free from the ropes. But they realized that their lightning calamity stage strength was actually unable to break free from the ropes. Who are you guys? All of them looked at Ling Longyue in horror. Chapter 426. Slap. Ling Longyue sent the person who spoke flying with a slap. Following that person's figure could no longer descend from the air. Ling Longyue then began to wildly punch, at the speed of 10 punches per second. That person was beaten, until he was completely stunned. The other 4 people below were trembling with fear as they watched this scene. You came here without knowing who we are? Are you looking for a beating? Ling Longyue said to the person who was lying on the ground on his last breath. The other 4 people felt a chill down their spine. What kind of demon is this? Didn't they say that Lin Xian and her sister were staying here? How could this little loli be so strong that they could not even resist? A man secretly released a bolt of lightning towards Ling Longyue's back. In the next moment, Ling Longyue turned around and caught the bolt of lightning with her fingers. She was even playing with it. Gulp. They swallowed a mouthful of saliva. What the hell? Whoosh. Ling Longyue then flicked her finger, and the bolt of lightning hit that person, knocking him out. The other 3 people who were still thinking of attacking no longer had the mood to do so. You still want to sneak attack? Are you looking for a beating? Sister, we were wrong. Please treat us like a fart and let us go. One of them knelt down. They were in the lightning retribution realm, and were strong. However, the lightning released by the lightning retribution realm was being played with by the girl in front of them. What was the meaning of this? Even the law retribution realm could not do that, right? What kind of demon is this? Are you fit to be my fart? Ling Longyue glared at him. Sorry. No. Ling Longyue said. Little fairy does not know how to fart. You are. Ling Longyue, who was on the balcony, said. Ling Longyue understood what Ling Longyue meant. She wanted her to stop playing. Tell me who sent you here. Who are you looking for? Ling Longyue sat on the chair with her legs crossed and swayed back and forth. We don't know. And when Ling Longyue heard his words, she snapped her fingers, and his entire body flew up. Under everyone's gaze, he was directly compressed into a meat patty by the space. Then, the space sent his corpse to an unknown place, and he disappeared from this place. Gulp. Everyone who saw this scene sweated profusely. Plop. Then they quickly knelt down. Big sister, we really don't know who sent us here. Then why are you here? Ling Longyue stretched out her hand, and an apple flew into her hand before she took a bite out of it. To assassinate Lin Xian. You can go now. Ling Longyue said. Ling Longyue, cough. Ling Longyue coughed dryly, and Ling Longyue quickly corrected herself. There's more. And bring Lin's. On Longyue's whose S was stunned. So Lin Xian's enemy's target was not only Lin Xian, but also his sister, Linya. For Ling Longyue, although she had only met Linya once, she liked Linya very much. Linya had an aura that made people feel very close to her. Even if you didn't know her at all, you would feel at ease just by chatting with her for a while. You wouldn't have to worry about her having any thoughts about you. Linya was the only person who gave Ling Longyue such a feeling. Therefore Ling Longyue really liked Linya. How should she put it? When she heard that someone was targeting Lin Xian, she felt something. But when she heard that someone was targeting Linya, she was furious. What else? Ling Longyue asked. No more. Really no more. That's the mission we received. Then you can go to hell. Wait. Ling Longyue stopped Ling Longyue and walked over. You said mission? Could it be that you're from some organization? They tried to avoid eye contact, but they really wanted to live. We're from the Evil Fiend Shrine. He said because he knew that if he hit anything, he would definitely die. If he didn't, he might have a chance to live. Evil Fiend Shrine? Ling Longyue thought for a moment and turned around. Ling Longyue understood what Ling Longyue meant. She meant that Ling Longyue would deal with them. Then Ling Longyue untied them. Clean up this house for me. Yes, yes. Then, the three of them who could still move helped to clean up the messy living room. How pitiful. A few Tribulation Realm cultivators, who came to assassinate people, were actually reduced to cleaning up. Wah! Done. The three of them stood there trembling in fear. Then you can die now. After saying that, Linglong Yu waved her hand, and the three of them disappeared. Sister, I think we should just let them harm that Lin Xian. He's not a good person either. Linglong Yu walked over and mumbled. Linglong Shui did not answer Linglong Yu's question. Instead, she said, "Do you know about the Evil Fiend Shrine?" Linglong Yu nodded. I know. Isn't it just an evil organization of the humans? What does it have to do with us? From what I know, the Evil Fiend Shrine is indeed a human organization. However, it seems that the demons are involved. So what? It's not like they're a threat to us. Linglong Yu said while eating an apple. You're too one-sided. Bing Lingyue ruffled Linglong Yu's hair. Linglong Yu hated it when people ruffled her hair. However, only Linglong Shui and Linglong Shui would do that. The main thing was that Linglong Shui did not know how to ruffle her hair. Linglong Shui pondered for a moment. She was not too sure about this organization. However, she knew that it was quite powerful. After all, it was impossible for them to become the #1 villain in the human society. However, Lin Xian and Lin Yu were targeted by this organization. There were a few Thunder Tribulation Realm martial artists who came tonight. In her eyes, Thunder Tribulation Realm martial artists were nothing. However, what if it was Lin Xian and Lin Yu? Not to mention so many of them. Even one of them would not be able to resist. Moreover, there were so many of them. This meant that they were completely targeted. They would not give up until they caught them. No wonder Lin Xian wanted something to save his life. You heir, do you still have any Heaven's Wrath needles? Linglong Shui asked. She did not have anything that Lin Xian could use for the time being. There were some things that he could not use with his strength. I still have 2 more. Why? Linglong Yu took them out. Linglong Shui took them and said, for Lin Xian to save his life. Linglong Yu was speechless. Oh my god. Don't tell me this sister of mine really likes that scum. No, I'm not giving it to you. Linglong Yu wanted to snatch them back, but Linglong Shui had already kept them. I don't mean anything else. He helped me improve my space element to the great success stage, and you know what that means. The heavenly void orb alone can't compare to his kindness. Mother said that we void foxes should repay the kindness of a drop of water with a gushing spring, let alone such a great kindness. Have you forgotten? Chapter 427. Linglong Yu pouted and mumbled. Of course I didn't forget. But that's because he helped you. I don't need to be grateful to him. This sentence seemed to make sense. Although Linglong Shui wanted to retort, she felt that it wasn't appropriate for her to do so. After a few seconds, Linglong Shui said, being grateful to me is equivalent to being grateful to you. Mother said that you and I are one entity. Alright. Linglong Yu was most worried about Linglong Shui's reasoning. Every time she did, she would have a headache. She couldn't understand it at all, but she still understood. Linglong Shui continued. Furthermore, your space is just one step away from mastery. You need his help. No way. You're enough. Why would I need a space mastery? Linglong Yu mumbled. Although she really wanted it, she was still at Sundara. Even though she had such thoughts, she was still stubborn. You need to make yourself stronger. A space mastery, and just one step away is like heaven and earth. Furthermore, what we understand is space and the void. In the future, when you advance to the great virtual realm, or even the heavenly Tao realm, this is crucial. With you around, it's enough. Linglong Yu said again. What if one day I'm not around? Linglong Shui looked at Linglong Yu. How is that possible? Why is it impossible? Linglong Yu didn't know what to say. You're always like this, always worrying for nothing. You're just one step away from the heavenly Tao realm. What are you worried about? Linglong Shui shook her head slightly and looked out the window. There were too many things in this world that needed to be worried about. Just one step away from the heavenly Tao realm was ultimately not the heavenly Tao realm. The great virtual realm was powerful. But what was a heavenly Tao realm expert? She didn't have any enemies, but who could predict the future? What if she provoked a great virtual realm expert? What if an accident happened? To Linglong Shui, she really didn't have any ties to herself. The only thing she had was her younger sister. It was true that Linglong Shui had some strength, but she was too naive and too easily deceived. Moreover, she was too one-sided and too casual in her actions. Under such circumstances, it was easier to make enemies. She was also worried that she would be used by bad people and cause a disaster. If there really came a day when she couldn't be by her side and protect her, Linglong Shui was truly worried. Perhaps the only person in the world who understood her was Bing Lingyue. Linglong Yu saw Linglong Shui's expression. She could understand a little, but she didn't feel good either. All right, then I won't target him in the future. Linglong Yu gave in. The most important thing for you is to become stronger. When you become strong, your sister won't have to worry about you anymore. Bing Lingyue looked at her and said softly, I don't have anything to worry about. Linglong Yu muttered. Then she looked at Linglong Shui's back and said, All right, then see if you can ask Lin Xian to help me improve my space attribute. I'll take it as I owe him a favor. Linglong Shui turned around and looked at her. Go find him yourself. All right, I'll find him. But what if he refuses? Linglong Yu asked. Linglong Shui said, This kind of treasure that can improve my space attribute is rare. It's already heaven-defying for him to have one. However, I can't be sure if he has a second one. If he doesn't have one, then forget it. If he does, then if there's a chance to give it to you, then fight for it. To you, improving your strength is the most important thing. If he needs something, as long as he agrees, then give it to him. I know. Linglong Yu nodded. I'm going to play games. Then she ran off. Actually, she cares a lot about you. Bing Lingyue said to Linglong Shui. It's useless. She still needs to improve herself. Lin Xian might be the only one who has the ability to improve her. I'll go talk to Sister Lin Xian. Let's go visit them tomorrow and give him the Heaven's Wrath Needle. All right. Bing Lingyue liked Linya and wanted to see Lin Xian. Of course, she would be happy to do so. At this moment, Qin Xiaotian was having a hard time. He had just received news that he had lost contact with the Lightning Retribution Realm cultivators he sent. For cultivators of this level, he knew what losing contact meant. How is this possible? Lin Xian had just reached the mysterious Heaven Realm. His sister has almost no cultivation level. Why did we lose contact with the Lightning Retribution Realm cultivators we sent? Why? Could it be that there's a cultivator in his family? Qin Xiaotian kept pacing back and forth uneasily. He suddenly remembered that Lin Xian had never been afraid of him, and even wanted him to take action. At that time, Qin Xiaotian was worried that Lin Xian had some conspiracy, so he didn't dare to take action. Now the Lightning Retribution Realm cultivators he sent were all dead. So, he was basically sure of his guess. That's not right. If he has the ability to kill a few Lightning Retribution Realm cultivators, why didn't he take action against me? Qin Xiaotian couldn't understand. Logically speaking, he was an enemy of Lin Xian. He even had the ability to kill Lightning Retribution Realm cultivators. Why didn't he kill him? Unless he only has the ability to protect himself, and he can't take the initiative to use it. Then it shouldn't be a person. It should be some kind of spiritual weapon, or some kind of formation in his family. If that's the case, it should be useless to trigger it once. Then, Qin Xiaotian dialed the number again. The death of a few Lightning Retribution Realm cultivators was a blow to the Evil Fiend Temple. Qin Xiaotian estimated that he would have to pay a lot of compensation. But for him, nothing was more important than tonight's plan. Therefore, there was an even more tragic scene. He sent a few more experts, but they were all gone. This caused Qin Xiaotian to break down. He really couldn't sleep. In his mind, he even had the idea of leaving Tianhua City overnight and going to other cities. However, he resisted the urge. First, Lin Xian didn't come to kill him, but he was able to kill the experts who went to Lin Xian's house twice. In his opinion, it would be dangerous only if he went to Lin Xian's house. Even Lin Xian himself couldn't do anything to him. Second, what if Wang Qianqian was just a coincidence? If it was just her, What if there was no evidence? Without evidence, there was no way to convict him. He just had to find an opportunity to get rid of Wang Qianqian. He would still be fine. At most, he would be caught in a little bit of a storm. Third, the Tianmu conference was too important to him. He wanted to enter the God's awakening door too much. He wanted to increase his strength too much. So he took a gamble. A gamble. At most, he would be more vigilant. If he didn't appear for a few days, and waited until the Tianmu conference to participate in the martial arts competition, what if there was danger? He still needed a spiritual weapon to escape. Money he had plenty. To him money was useless. With strength he could have anything. Lin Xian, don't force me. Chapter 428. Lin Xian didn't know what was going on here. Although he was excited, time slowly passed and he fell asleep. In his dream, he dreamed that he had reached the peak and brought a group of girls back to Earth to live a happy life. When he woke up in the morning, he was drooling. I really hope that the dream is real. Lin Xian stretched and sighed. But wasn't he working hard for this goal? For now, he needed to ensure everyone's safety. In other words, there was Qin Xiaotian and Zhao Mingyue in the dark. These two dangers had to be solved. After they were solved, there shouldn't be too much of a crisis for now. Walking out of the room, Ling Ying and Lin Yu were chatting and laughing in the kitchen making breakfast. Lin Yu was definitely going to the company today. But even if she didn't go to the company, as long as she was healthy, she usually woke up very early. Lin Yu's presence was good news for Ling Ying. She didn't need to sleep in anymore. She couldn't let Lin Yu think that she was a lazy girl. Little Ying, help me fry 5 poached eggs, thank you. Lin Xian leaned against the kitchen door and said proudly, 5. Are you a pig? Ling Ying couldn't help but roll his eyes at Lin Xian. Wow. 5. What's the big deal? Don't tell me you don't want to spend the money for 5 eggs? I've seen through you. Aha. Yes. Lin Yu turned her head and said softly, eating too much fried food is bad for the body. But I'm still growing. Ling Ying secretly touched his forehead. Big brother, I beg you to be less shameless. You're already 21. Are you still growing? Why? Can't I grow later? Lin Xian rolled his eyes at Ling Ying. She really wanted to say that if she could still grow, she wouldn't be able to stand it. She couldn't even stand it now. If she continued to grow, would she break the sky? Go wash up. I'll fry it for you and put it on top of the noodles. Lin Yu said. All right, I love you, little fairy. Then, Lin Xian happily went to wash up. Before he left, he didn't forget to glare at Ling Ying. Ling Ying glared back at him without any fear, and then helped Lin Yu make noodles. Now their breakfast was basically noodles. There were all kinds of noodles, but they still mainly ate seafood noodles, because they both liked to eat them. Ling Ying's appetite was getting closer and closer to Lin Xian's. Little Ying, what do you think of little Xian? Lin Yu suddenly asked when they were cooking. Ah. Ling Ying was stunned by Lin Yu's question. He stopped eating the lollipop in his mouth. It's okay. Ling Ying didn't know what to say. Of course, she knew what Lin Yu wanted to say, but she never thought about how she should answer if Lin Yu suddenly asked her one day. Should she directly tell Lin Yu about her relationship with Lin Xian? In fact, Ling Ying also wanted to declare her sovereignty. At least in Lin Yu's heart, she was Lin Xian's real girlfriend. Even if Lin Xian was flirting with other girls outside, she would still be the first in Lin Yu's heart. However, she didn't think it would work, because Han Chushua's matter hadn't been resolved yet. Han Chushua had also come to the house and knew Lin Yu. Maybe when the time came, Han Chushua would find out about her relationship with Lin Xian from Lin Yu. That wouldn't work. Now that Han Chushua seemed to have recovered and was working hard to improve her strength, Ling Ying knew that it was mostly because of Lin Xian. Once she found out, she would probably be discouraged again. So, Ling Ying weighed the pros and cons and didn't plan to tell Lin Yu. Lin Yu asked while making noodles, how big is the gap between him and your ideal boyfriend? In fact, Lin Yu was also very conflicted. On one hand, she couldn't bear to part with Lin Xian. Moreover, she and Lin Xian were so ambiguous. On the other hand, she felt that Lin Xian was already 21 years old, but he was still so indecent. After a while, he would be 22. and he wouldn't even have a girlfriend. In the future, he would have to get married and have children. Moreover, after all, she always had a grudge in her heart because they were siblings. Although they weren't blood-related, to be honest, this grudge was really difficult for her to overcome at the moment. Being ambiguous with Lin Xian was already her limit. Every time she did it, it was indeed very blissful. But after that, she regretted it. Although Lin Xian had told her many times, this kind of grudge was really difficult for a very traditional girl to accept. Perhaps the most she could do was to have sex with Lin Xian. But in the end, she couldn't accept the grudge of marrying Lin Xian and having children. At least she couldn't accept it now. Of course, if Lin Xian really couldn't find a girlfriend, then it would be different. But that was also impossible. Linya recently saw so many beautiful and outstanding girls around Lin Xian. Really, she didn't know there were so many before. Suddenly, she realized that maybe the most beautiful girls in the world were around Lin Xian. There were all kinds of types, big and small. She was also in a dilemma. Who was more suitable for Lin Xian? Of course, every girl that Linya saw was very good, but Lingying lived with them every day. So Linya naturally liked her more. When Lingying heard Linya's words, her mind was in a whirlwind. She was thinking of an answer that didn't count as a yes, or a hurtful answer. Of course, she wanted to say that it was quite suitable. And then Linya would probably go with the flow and say it. But she couldn't say that. Actually, it's not that bad, but I value things like fate and feelings more. Maybe I still need a little bit of electricity, so I'm not in a hurry. Linya nodded slightly. That's true. Apart from some of us girls who value material things more. Who doesn't want to be with the boy they like? Then, does Sister Linya have a boy that you like? Sister Linya is so beautiful, so you must have countless pursuers. Lingying asked with a smile as she helped. Linya was stunned for a moment. Other than Lin Xian, she really didn't have a boy. She didn't even have a little bit of electricity. Those super handsome superstars and the like, she had no feelings at all. It was probably because Lin Xian had always been in her heart. Or maybe she had never deliberately thought about dating. So no matter how handsome and outstanding a boy was, she wouldn't even take a second look. She didn't have a trace of curiosity. If a girl didn't have curiosity about a boy, then it was impossible for her to have any thoughts. Yes, it's me. It was unknown when Lin Xian had come over, but he still spoke sweetly. Hey, don't you know that it's not good to eavesdrop on girls? Lingying rolled her eyes at Lin Xian. Is this considered eavesdropping? But how long has it been since I left, and you're already talking about this? Little Lingying, let me tell you, little fairy is mine. You're not allowed to say anything. In Lingying's opinion, Lin Xian was more of a joke, but Linya knew that Lin Xian was serious, especially in front of Lingying, so she couldn't help but blush. Chapter 429. Linya blushed and quickly turned around. She pretended to focus on making noodles. Hey, is it really okay for you to do this? Lingying said in a displeased manner. What's wrong with that? I'd rather marry my little fairy than marry you. Lin Xian laughed and ran off after he finished speaking. Bastard. Lingying gritted her teeth. She was very unhappy with Lin Xian's words. However, the more he said it, the less suspicious she would be. He's just like that. Don't think too much about it. Linya explained for Lin Xian. I know. But maybe he really has designs on you, Big Sister Linya. After all, Big Sister Linya and Lin Xian are not biological siblings. Moreover, Big Sister Linya is so beautiful. And he's such a B***tch. Maybe he has designs on you. Linya only chuckled, and did not continue the topic. After dinner, Linya went to the office. Only Lin Xian and Lingying were left at home. What's with that look? Lingying looked at Lin Xian timidly, and noticed his wolf-like gaze. Little Lingying, you've been very arrogant recently. Lin Xian grinned. Lingying's heart skipped a beat. I'm warning you, don't do anything stupid. Ha ha ha, little fairy has gone to work now. You've been teasing me for the past few days. I have to set the rules and punish you properly. I'll teach you a lesson. Then Lin Xian pounced on her. After an unknown amount of time, Lin Xian was satisfied. He hugged Lingying and laid there for half an hour. Then he got up and went to take a shower. Ling turned around. She did not want to move anymore. I'm going to the Sky Marshal Court. I'm going to find Miss Xiao to find out more about this year's Sky Marshal Assembly. Ling suddenly sat up. And then the quilt slipped. She couldn't help but scream, and quickly pulled the quilt up. I'll go with you. Give me half an hour. I'm going to take a bath. I have something to do in the Sky Marshal Court. Then, Ling ran into the bathroom, wrapped in the sheets. Lin Xian couldn't help but laugh. This girl was still shy. It wasn't like he hadn't seen it before. She was still covering it up. About half an hour later, Ling got dressed and walked out of the bedroom. Lin Xian was sitting on the sofa, playing with his phone. Then he looked up. TSK. My little Ying is really beautiful. Ling was wearing a black jacket with a pure white turtleneck sweater inside. The sleeves were long and almost covered her hands. However, it was precisely this kind of wide sweater that made her look especially cute. Lin Xian especially liked girls wearing such loose clothes. Moreover, Ling Ying's figure was top-notch and her legs were beautiful, especially when she was wearing tight pants. TSK. He couldn't stand it. When he thought about Ling Ying's appearance just now, he didn't want to go to the Sky Marshal Court anymore. So, who didn't have tender feelings for the fairer sex? It's really strange that a man like you can find a girlfriend. Even if you do, I'm the only one who can stand you, Ling Ying said angrily. How am I not tender feelings for the fairer sex? Lin Xian chuckled and planted a kiss on Ling Ying's perfect little face that had no makeup on. Go away. Ling Ying rolled her eyes at Lin Xian in disdain. Then she said, Then tell me, why are you tender feelings for the fairer sex? According to research, it's normal to have sex for 10 to 20 minutes. You do it for 1 to 2 hours each time. What are you doing? Are you trying to kill someone? Ling Ying said in an aggrieved tone. Aren't I serving you? Lin Xian said with a smile. What do you mean by serving me? Ling Ying pouted angrily. Think about it. If you're not satisfied after 10 to 20 minutes, that won't do. I have to satisfy you, right? How do I know if you're satisfied? It depends on when you beg for mercy. I'll only end when you beg for mercy. Tell me, I'm already so considerate. Isn't it warm enough? Warm my *SS. Lin Xian. F***ck. How can you scold me? Yes, I'm scolding you. Ling Ying said unhappily. Teach women. Even if it's an hour or two. I don't see you telling me to stop. You even want to change positions. You're still talking. Ling Ying rushed up and covered Lin Xian's mouth. Her face was flushed red, and she looked extremely adorable. That was the truth. That was why her little face was red. Lin Xian took her hand away and said with a smile, Here's the problem. I'll give you a choice. 5 minutes or 10 minutes, which will you choose? Ling Ying was in a dilemma. She would definitely choose the current position. 5 or 10 minutes was really not enough for her. Go. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Let's go. I heard that the rules of this year's Tianwu conference have changed. The rules should be out today. I have to ask Miss Xiao about the rules of this year's Tianwu conference. What were the rules before? The Tianwu conference was the day after tomorrow. Of course they cared about it. As for Qin Xiaotian, Lin Xian also paid attention to it. Lin Xian and Ling Ying chatted as they walked out. It's just a normal competition. A 1v1 promotion system. I guess so. Even if it's changed, it won't change much. After all, only this kind of 1v1 competition can show the strength of each other. Ling Ying nodded. Although that's true, it's said that the changes this time are quite big. It seems that it will test the strength of each martial artist. If it's more comprehensive in other aspects, it might not necessarily be good news for higher-level warriors. The Tianwu conference was jointly organized by the 3 major powers. The top 10 winners would enter the God's Awakening door. But before that, they would also receive a lot of rewards from the Bounty Hunter Guild and the Trial Union. Although it was all for the God's Awakening door, the rewards from the other 2 major powers were also considerable. The 3 major powers were established with the same goal in mind. It was to protect the peace of human society, to save human society, and to resist the monstrous beasts. And they suddenly realized that what martial artists needed was not just strength. Or rather, it was not as simple as a 1v1 battle between martial artists. So they changed the rules. After taking a taxi, they arrived at the Tianhua Academy in 10 minutes. Lin Xian and Ling Ying appeared at the Tianhua Academy together. That attracted the attention of many people. Lin Xian and Ling Ying had a good relationship. Of course they knew that. But for them to come to the academy together, it made people think deeply. Damn, look at the two of them. They can't be dating, right? That's impossible. Although Lin Xian is not bad, and seems to be quite powerful recently, I feel that compared to Ling Ying, he's still not good enough for her. What else could it be? The two of them came to the academy together. I feel like they're living together. In a short period of time rumors spread. But the two of them were the kind of people who did not care about rumors. Of course, if it was the kind of rumors that insulted them, it would be different. But this kind of rumors did not matter at all. Chapter 430. The two of them arrived at the Sky Martial Court. Lu Yufan and Yi Yi had been working hard recently. If they had nothing to do, they would stay at the Sky Martial Court to learn all kinds of combat skills and knowledge. They were here today as well. The two girls were currently sparring with Xiao Runing on the field. They were there for nothing else but Xiao Runing to help them train. Martial artists needed experience. The two of them could not keep sparring with each other. They needed to spar with more martial artists. Xiao Runing was one of them. She would help them improve. Of course, if she was free, she would also help others because she was a teacher. Han Chuxue. Lin Xian and Ling Ying walked over and saw that not far away, there was a beautiful figure wearing a white coat standing next to a tree with her arms crossed. Her eyes were in the crowd, and they guessed that she was watching Yi Yi and the others from afar. However, they were not familiar with her, so they guessed that she was waiting for Xiao Runing to finish her work. Many people around her had their eyes on her. Everyone must have known about the incident where Han Chuxue threw herself into Lin Xian's arms and cried. But they still hadn't received an explanation. So all the rumors were just speculation. However, Han Chuxue's beauty was undeniable. She was so beautiful that no one dared to get close to her. Therefore, those people secretly took photos of her from afar and set the photos as their phone wallpaper. Suddenly, they realized that beautiful people could do whatever they wanted. Even a photo taken from any angle would be beautiful. There were no blind spots at all. This is strange. This woman is actually standing in front of the public. TSK tisk, Ling Ying said with a smile when he saw Han Chuxue. She's probably waiting for Miss Xiao. After all, she should be looking in the direction of Miss Xiao and the others. Lin Xian said. That's possible. Why? Aren't you going to flirt with her? I won't disturb you. Ling Ying said with a smile. That's a good idea. Thank you for the reminder. Then, Lin Xian walked over with a swagger. Ling Ying. Hey, did she say that on purpose? Lin Xian really went. F***ck. Ding. You can feel Ling Ying's displeasure. Scumbag value plus 10,000. Bastard. Are you doing this on purpose or just straight? Ling Ying stomped her foot angrily. Then, her gaze landed on a male student who was staring at her like a fool. When the student saw Ling Ying looking over, he quickly turned his gaze away. Ling Ying then walked over and asked, Student, is this chair stable? Ling Ying asked with a smile. Ah, steady, very steady. Really? I don't know if it'll be stable if I sit there. After all, I've put on some weight recently. When the boy heard Ling Ying's words, he immediately understood what she meant and quickly stood up. Senior sister Ling Ying, please sit. Thanks. Then, Ling Ying sat there with her legs crossed and looked in front of her. Do me a favor. Here's 800 yuan. Help me go to Lin Xian and Han Chuxue's place as a passerby and eavesdrop on what they're talking about. Thank you. Ah, okay. But I don't want money. Take it. Ling Ying then stuffed the money into his hands. Many people's eyes were naturally on the school beauty Ling Ying. When they suddenly saw Ling Ying stuff money into a boy's hands, they immediately exploded. And this boy, because of such a small matter, received a lot of attention in the future. This was the influence of the top school beauty. As long as this school beauty didn't have a boyfriend, her influence would be very exaggerated. Even if she did have a boyfriend, her admirers would wholeheartedly protect her. Then, Ling Ying watched unhappily as Lin Xian approached Han Chuxue. I'd like to see what you're talking about when I'm not around. Ling Ying would be lying if she said that she wasn't jealous. Although this was all caused by her, she just wanted to know how Lin Xian chatted with other girls outside. Lin Xian moved to Han Chuxue's side. Han Chuxue also saw Lin Xian coming over. She came back to her senses, and then slightly tidied up the loose hair in front of her forehead to hide her nervousness. She was really nervous. No matter how outstanding a man was in front of her, she wouldn't take a second look. No matter how outstanding a man was, she wouldn't feel anything when he said sweet nothings to her. However, when Lin Xian just walked towards her, she became nervous, shy, and secretly happy. All kinds of emotions suddenly emerged. Hello, little Chuxue. Lin Xian walked to Han Chuxue's side and grinned. Lin Xian felt that it was time to make a move on Han Chuxue. Just like Miao Xiao Miao, he made a move first and then left it there. After all, he didn't do anything. No, Han Chuxue was different. Han Chuxue's mission required sex. It wasn't as simple as just confirming a relationship. Moreover, it required Ling Ying to do it together. Wow. Lin Xian really felt very tired. It wasn't like he didn't do other things every day. He flirted with girls. Those real scumbags purely ran their own fish pond and didn't need to work. They were usually quite rich. Lin Xian also didn't need to work, but he had a lot of things to do. Training, leveling up, all kinds of dangers outside, etc. Then he still had to flirt with girls. It didn't matter if the scumbags couldn't flirt with them. But if he couldn't flirt with them, his level would drop to 0. Who could stand that? Han Chuxue slightly nodded and then nodded. Why isn't Ling Ying coming over? This should be the first time she was alone with Lin Xian, right? Previously Ling Ying was there, so she was really nervous and didn't know what to say. When she saw Lin Xian, she also saw Ling Ying sitting in the distance. She really didn't know what to say, so she could only say this. She's not important. Lin Xian grinned and said. The student sent by Ling Ying heard this, and was secretly speechless. Han Chuxue heard Lin Xian's words and didn't know how to respond. Little Chuxue, are you free tonight? I'll treat you to a movie. Lin Xian smiled and said. He really felt that it was time to make a move. The sooner he got one, the sooner he could be at ease. On the other side, there was still Ling Longshui, Ling Longyue, and Bing Lingyue, 3 heaven-defying girls that he needed to deal with. He had to stabilize the rear first. Now, of all the people outside who had triggered the mission, other than Ling Longshui and the other 2, only Han Chuxue and Lin Ye hadn't completed it. Yi Yi and Xiao Runing would definitely trigger it. After all, with their level of beauty, according to the scumbag system's temperament, it would be unreasonable if it didn't trigger it. It probably needed some kind of opportunity. However, Lin Xian wasn't in a hurry. It was best to trigger it later. Even if it was triggered, there shouldn't be any heaven-defying punishment. Now that Lin Xian was already a bowl of water, if the 2 of them triggered it, it would be one disaster after another. And Lin Ye's mission wasn't urgent either. As expected of Lin Xian's little fairy, there was no punishment for the mission. So now, Han Chuxue should be Lin Xian's first target. After all, the sooner they confirmed their relationship, the sooner he could be together with Ling Ying. Otherwise it would be too late. Chapter 431. When Han Chuxue heard Lin Xian's words, her heart skipped a beat, and her ears immediately turned red. Lin Xian asked her to watch a movie? What did this guy mean by asking a girl to watch a movie? Although she had never been in a relationship before, she still understood this. Moreover, it was at night. Her heart was suddenly in a mess. I have something to do tonight. She was really anxious and her heart was in a mess. She blurted out such a sentence. Probably subconsciously, she didn't know what to do, so she chose to escape. Lin Xian didn't care. If you have something to do, then you have something to do. Can't force it? Okay, then you're busy tonight. No, I'm not busy. Han Chuxue said hurriedly. Lin Xian was stunned for a moment. Was this girl busy or not? Didn't she have something to do? Because Han Chushue regretted it after saying this. Oh my god. What did she say? Then, when she heard Lin Xian's words, she subconsciously said it again. In fact, subconsciously, she really wanted to go to the movies with Lin Xian. But she was a complete idiot. When faced with this kind of situation, she completely lost her mind. The key was that it depended on the person. Probably only Lin Xian could make her lose her mind. Are you busy or not? Lin Xian asked suspiciously. I'm okay. Han Chushue's hand was a little helpless as she rubbed the corner of her clothes. Then you're quite busy. I won't disturb you. How about this? I'll ask you to watch a movie after the Tianwu conference ends. Han Chushue nodded. Okay. She was still a little disappointed, but more than that she was annoyed. What was wrong with her? Why did she say that she had something to do? If she didn't say that, she would be able to watch a movie with Lin Xian tonight. Then it's settled. Oh right, don't tell that girl Ling Ying. It's just the two of us. I'll take you to eat a big meal, not her. Han Chushue nodded slightly. In fact, she was quite happy when she heard this. For example, when Lin Xian and Ling Ying said that they would take her out for a big meal and not bring her along, she was also happy. However, being happy was just being happy. This was a very normal psychological activity. Do you want to go? Lin Xian asked Han Chushue. Han Chushue nodded and followed Lin Xian towards Ling Ying. Hello, Comrade Han. Ling Ying saw Han Chushue and said with a smile. Han Chushue nodded slightly. Then her eyes fell on Xiao Runing. Are you waiting for Miss Xiao? Ling Ying asked. Yes, I want to ask about the Tianwu assembly. Are you guys interested as well? Ling Ying nodded. Yes, because I heard that the Tianwu assembly has changed a lot, so it's good to ask about the rules in advance. The Tianwu assembly will have people from the 3 major academies and 3 major powers as judges. Xiao Runing is one of the judges. According to reason, the new rules should not be leaked, but that's only according to reason. If Xiao Runing doesn't tell them, the other judges will also ask, and they will tell them. They will only say that it depends on whether you have the ability or not. In fact, there's no problem even if it's leaked. In any case, it's just a subconscious rule. Yes, asking in advance can also prepare in advance. After all, there are a lot of experts in the Tianwu assembly this time. Compared to the previous ones, the quality is much better. Ling Ying said faintly. Lin Xian took out his phone and chatted with Zhang Tian. Lin Xian had just told him about the information that could be used against Qin Xiaotian. So Lin Xian went to the side to chat with him. However, Lin Xian didn't give him the video because he was afraid that he would ruin it. Of course, he wasn't afraid that he would collude with Qin Xiaotian. Since he cooperated with him, then Lin Xian would trust him. Moreover, his own sister died in the hands of Qin Xiaotian. He had endless hatred, so he was worried that because of this hatred, he couldn't wait to release the video. That was not what Lin Xian wanted, so Lin Xian only told him this news. As for what to do next, he would take the initiative and Zhang Tian would be in charge of supporting him. With Lin Xian's understanding of Qin Xiaotian, he was definitely investigating him and Wang Qianqian. However, he shouldn't be able to do anything about it. Linya was at the arcane body realm, and she also had the heavenly void pearl. Although it was still a little dangerous, Linya listened to Lin Xian's words and directly made the heavenly void pearl into a bracelet on her wrist. If she encountered any danger, she could instantly use it to escape. Moreover, Lin Xian felt that if Qin Xiaotian wanted to make a move now, he would definitely only control Linya and would definitely not directly kill her. Therefore, as long as she had the heavenly void pearl on her wrist, Linya would not be in danger. It was impossible for someone to make a move on her and steal her heavenly void pearl at first sight. Therefore, Lin Xian wasn't very worried about Linya. Even if she was captured, she could use the heavenly void pearl to come back. Right now, Lin Xian wanted to humiliate Qin Xiaotian first. As for how to humiliate him, Lin Xian had already thought about it. But now that the rules of the Heaven Martial Arts Conference had changed, Lin Xian had to think about it again. In addition, he had to make sure that Qin Xiaotian hadn't left, and confirm his location before bringing people to capture him. Otherwise, if he alerted the enemy, what would happen if Qin Xiaotian directly ran away? As for whether he ran away or not, Lin Xian wasn't sure. It was true that he was cautious, but it wasn't to the point where it would make people think about it carefully, right? It had to be said that Lin Xian's control over people's hearts was still quite strong. Qin Xiaotian indeed didn't run away directly, because he still had too many things to do. However, he didn't dare to come out, because he needed to make sure that there was no danger outside before he appeared. On the other side, Ling Ying saw Lin Xian playing with his phone at the side. She found an opportunity to walk over to the student's side and asked, "How is it?" The male student said, "I heard from Lin Xian that he wanted to invite Han Chuxue to watch a movie." Ling Ying, Motherf asterisk her. As expected. Although she thought of it, she couldn't stop it. But she was still unhappy. What else? Also, he told Han Chuxue not to tell you. Ling Ying. Tisk tisk, so uncomfortable. This bastard, he slept with her every day, and even invited other girls to watch a movie. If she didn't tell him, Ling Ying would remember it for the rest of her life. And then? Nothing else. Oh right, he also said that he wanted to eat a big meal. But he didn't want to bring you. Ling Ying. At this moment, Lin Xian's mind was filled with all kinds of system notifications from Ling Ying's unhappy and jealous feelings, causing him to be stunned. Wasn't he just playing with his phone? Could it be that she thought that he was secretly chatting with other girls and was jealous? That shouldn't be the case. With Ling Ying's tolerance, she wouldn't be unhappy and jealous over this matter. Lin Xian looked at her in surprise. At this moment, Ling Ying had already walked over to Han Chuxue with a dark face, and was thinking about life. Of course, she wouldn't blame Han Chuxue. After all, Han Chuxue didn't know that she was Lin Xian's girlfriend. She only blamed that bastard Lin Xian. Chapter 432. Ling Ying started to doubt his life. He just had sex with her, and when he was doing it, he used all kinds of sweet words to make her change positions. Then he didn't want to take him out to eat or watch a movie. F***ck your sister. What's wrong? Han Chuxue looked at Ling Ying, and found that she was breaking the key in her hand, like it was a soft candy. She looked very depressed. It's nothing, my period is here. Ling Ying mumbled, and then threw the broken key at Lin Xian. It hit his head, and then he flipped his hand and acted as if nothing happened. Lin Xian scratched his head and looked back. Who threw it at him? His first reaction was to look at Ling Ying. This girl was talking to Han Chuxue. It didn't seem to be her. Then Lin Xian picked up the object. F***ck? Isn't this Ling Ying's house key? Then it was Ling Ying who threw it. Still pretending. However, Lin Xian was curious. Why was this girl so unhappy? What did he do? He was really very curious. Then, he walked over and put the key in front of Ling Ying. What are you doing? Did I provoke you? Ling Ying turned her head and said, I was bored, so I threw it for fun. Lin Xian. Of course he didn't believe it. The system notification was the most realistic. No matter how she tried to hide or explain, since she didn't want to say it, Lin Xian just shrugged. Chuxue, let's go eat something delicious after the Tianwu tournament. Ling Ying deliberately said this to Han Chuxue in front of Lin Xian. Han Chuxue nodded without hesitation. Okay, then it's settled. We'll go after the tournament. Although it was Ling Ying who asked Lin Xian to flirt with Han Chuxue, what happened just now made him very unhappy. Didn't they say that they would go to the movies and eat delicious food after the competition? Normally, Han Chuxue would choose Ling Ying first. She just said that she didn't want Lin Xian to feel too good. When Lin Xian heard this, he didn't mind. It didn't matter if it was a day earlier or a day later. Originally, they wanted to go right after the competition, but since Ling Ying wanted to go right after the competition with Han Chuxue, then so be it. Lin Xian didn't mind going one day later. Han Chuxue thought so too, so it didn't really matter. Up ahead, Xiao Runing, Yi Yi, and Lu Yufan had finished their training. Then they saw Lin Xian and the others. Then, the three of them walked over together. This was a very eye-catching scene. Among the 4 campus belles of the Sky Martial Court, Han Chuxue, who was the rarest to appear, had appeared together. The goddess-like instructor, Xiao Runing, was also among them. When they walked together, the crowd could not wait to secretly take photos. This was a historical moment. It had been so long, but they shouldn't have appeared in this scene before, right? However, when they looked at the photos and saw that Lin Xian was among the 5 goddess-like girls, they were very unhappy. It also affected the beauty of the photos. They were all waiting for Lin Xian to leave their photos, but this guy was still there. F***ck your sister. Lin Xian, you'll be competing in the martial arts competition the day after tomorrow. Good luck. Lu Yufan said to Lin Xian charmingly. You have to work hard too. Try to participate in the Sky Martial competition next year. Of course. Next year is the year that Yi and I dominate the competition. Lu Yufan waved her fist cutely. If the two of you can maintain your current state and cultivate diligently for a year, you'll be able to become junior experts if you reach a certain level. Xiao Runing said with a smile. Miss Xiao, what about me? Lin Xian grinned. Xiao Runing looked at Lin Xian and said softly, Go to hell. Lin Xian. Ha ha ha. The girls felt extremely satisfied and laughed happily. Alright, I won't treat you well the next time you come to my house. Lin Xian said in a displeased manner. It's fine. It's enough that your sister treats me well. I don't need you to treat me well. Oh right, you didn't apply for leave for too long recently. I'll deduct your credits. Lin Xian. You're a teacher. You're awesome. I can't afford to offend you, okay? Lin Xian's face darkened. However, when the girls saw Lin Xian's expression, they were happy from the bottom of their hearts. They didn't know why, but they just wanted to see Lin Xian suffer. Of course, if it was between friends, they would want to see it. However, if it was someone they didn't know, or if it was Lin Xian's enemy or rival, they naturally wouldn't do that. They just wanted to see Lin Xian beat them up and crush them. That would be very handsome. Come here, come here. Lin Xian called Lu Yufan and Yi Yi to the side. The two girls looked at each other. Could it be that Lin Xian wanted to bully them because they laughed at him? Hey, come here. I have something to ask you. Lin Xian shouted. Then, the two girls walked toward Lin Xian. What is it? Lu Yufan asked charmingly. Yi Yi looked at Lin Xian from the side. Did you see Qin Xiaotian today? Lin Xian asked softly. Qin Xiaotian? I didn't see him. Lu Yufan shook her head. Then Lin Xian looked at Yi Yi. Qin Xiaotian was chasing Yi Yi. If he came, he would have contacted Yi Yi. Yi Yi also shook her head. I didn't see him. He probably didn't come to school. What's wrong? He didn't come. Lin Xian rubbed his chin. Did they hide or did they just run away? Lin Xian hoped that it was the former. He hoped that he was hiding out of caution. If he ran away, that would be bad news. However, Lin Xian trusted his own judgment. He probably didn't want to leave before he was completely sure that he had been discovered. Indeed, he had been discovered by Wang Qianqian. But so what? It didn't matter if there was no evidence. Therefore, Lin Xian guessed that his current state of mind was like that. If he didn't appear, that was also in line with Lin Xian's guess. It's okay, Yi. If he appears, let me know. Also, if he asks you out, don't go. Lin Xian reminded her. Both of them had heavenly void jewels, but Lin Xian still had to remind her. Yi Yi nodded her little head obediently. Also, Yi didn't agree when Qin Xiaotian asked her out. Lu Yufan said. Lin Xian nodded. And keep it this way. Then you guys go ahead and practice. I'll go find Miss Xiao and the others to understand the new rules of the Sky Martial Tournament. Good luck. You must defeat all those experts. Lu Yufan waved her fist and said, her boyfriend must be the best in her heart. Therefore, she trusted Lin Xian without thinking. Don't worry. It's nothing. Let's go. Lin Xian saw Ling Ying and Han Chuxue follow Xiao Runing to the office, so Lin Xian couldn't wait to chase after them. The three of them followed Xiao Runing to her office and sat down. Then Xiao Runing poured them a glass of water. Miss Xiao, where's my water? Lin Xian touched the tip of his nose. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.